CareFinder is a real estate company that focuses on property development within the Gambia. We pride ourselves with providing not just quality and durable houses, but also state-of-the-art designs tailored to our clients' tastes and expectations. Our unique experience and expertise is second to none in the industry. We are currently building and selling 3-bedroom bungalows at Sukuta Traffic Lights and Jabang. We're also building and selling 3-bedroom story buildings at Sukuta Paradise. Other sites are also in the pipeline. With CareFinder, payment options are available. With just 40% deposit, you can get your house started. For more information, contact us on 329-5188, 727-0049, 709-8418. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CareFinder. With CareFinder, you are assured of a secure investment.
Assalamu alaikum bari ngali konton kale bismillah ko rege mo be kerfaatu jibe kanyin tembenna alla di grand Bantaba programme mutanale ne ko rege min kanale arjuma ni nyi wato sita mbafala mo be ko al bismillah nyim programme wala mbafala mo be fana ko juma barak mol mi alon ko wolle kasi suto nyi wato pour kanyim programme batu pour ay futaran pour al sa jibe no nyame milbe gambia banko kanjang mbafala le ko wala baraka bake bari milbe gambe bantala fana mbafale ko ala barka bake alkanyim programme no mo nyamen atole nyim programme ke nyim programme ti mo jamal bi janne milia lonko ibatan gambia bantala nyin tembola bayri ngalon ne December tambitale be January le kono mo jamal nata li fola andon programme o kanunte la jamal le milia lonko be gambia banko kanjang ngebe konton ba fale ko nalba jibe kan so kono donc al bismillah nyim programme o ko reke dalta ka ke nyamen donc arjuma kanale pour ka mol natiale ka kacha ko la mialon ko wolle be keri gambia banko kanjang corona fias fo politiko lem wala ku ko tangol mialon ko wolle ka tar keri ka kacha wala nyim programme o andon nindam wolle ka dem pour ka nyim programme o ke mile nyim programme o fasa wollem CareFinder di ko nga fo nyamen donc wala ko ka fo nyamen donc CareFinder mi korda wafi bundalti milia lonko ifaramansa bakele gambia banko kanjang ni nata korda wa fola koro molle mi alonko e keno so dula bele to gambia jang yemira dawda ye kenol soto jele andu ila locationol bete ada bakele ni lafta keno sanna donc ise kumandi no nombala mi alonko wala be tara barikan screen o duma korda lorin bandingol fanam be bulle ni mu korda leti mi alonko ya lole itebe korda ni sanna donc yena dum kono bari kana sila na tara fanan kene kensen wala bete bulu andu lafta ka lo CareFinder ko fanan kalen e ka kene kensen o alla kene kensen wala ka be lo wato la mi alonko ite lafta wala nan ko CareFinder lo nyontangol ti gambia banko kanjang albe bori aleta je sign alila nombata mi alon ko be tara barikan screen o duma janning programme o nyimbe banna oto mutanale ne ko reke anin arjuma koten na e da mi alon ko ngaluntam bale sotale bi luntam ba mi alon ko mo jamal bi jele mi alon ko be kumpari nun kolla mi alon ko be kering atembota dame mo afanga wala nga nadi bi pour na e kacha akola nyaado numandin don alba jelale bar janni wonni MC le bi jam follow janni na model le futala MC welcome
thank you Buba fogna na bi moy for the first time 2025
nga apia
ma apia si
MC yaa ngi loos de
waaw dama loos trop
yaa ngi ko lijjante xaalis bi
foog naa ne moom dégg naa wax si media trop dem si media bi mooy si at bu es bi di ñaanal ñëpp ñu ngi dugg si at bees yal na yàlla yokk xiwal bi yokk taxawaay bi tam
amiin
tam mu gën a saxal suñ kaddu ba nga gis ne réew mi fu nga waxee ñëpp déglu nu nekku ne suñu xam-xam la wala ñu defa ne yàlla mën na ko jagleel ret kon ni ngay gërëm ñëpp ñu amee ci seen programme bi ñu nekk si réew mi ak si diaspora bi di wax rek ne ñun comme noo ko da waxee rek fii moom Grand Bantaba la
waaw
Grand Bantaba moom kenn ku nekk mun nga sa xalaat sa idea la nga foog ne moo yóbbu réew mi si kanam mbir bi nekkul ne da nga against nguur wala soppatuloo wala da nga soppoon nguur li gën a am solo mooy Gambie la ñu wax tey mun nga nekk si nguur bi ëllëg nga nekk si opposition bi kon opposition mooy nekk nguur tam kon lu ma waral mooy ñun suñ toog fii yëpp mooy toogu bi nga xam ne mooy toogu bu gën a tànga kenn waru ko di daw dañ war a ñëw ñu toog waxtaan ak Gambien si loo xam nga wax loo xamul tam kenn forcé wul la waaw wante ni ngi nuyu ñëpp tam suñu gan bi tam ñu ngi ko gërëm bu baax time bu mu ñëw gis naa ne ko respect time la foog naa ne moom moo njëkkee mënu fi njëkkee sax waaw because ñun panélistes yi daanaka sax ñu ngi xawal liir wante moom su boobaa ñëw na toog kon moo laa wax ne per na pour waxtaan ak Gambien si te per na pour jàng si moom tam ko koo gis tam nga xam ne kilifa la so kon ñii te débat ñu ñëw tam wax seen expérience tam lu gaay foog ne moo réew réew mi si kanam kon ni ngi nuyu tam caméraman yi tam di nuyu borom kër bi tam kër Fatou moom kenn amul seen fay because dafa nekk télé bu nga xam ne amut xaajoo seen ñëpp leen embale si télé bi fii kon loolu ñëpp a ko war a serne te loolu mu ngi am si réew ñëpp xam ne loolu kon di la wax ne asalaamaaleykum
thank you so seen council dafa mel ne ngeen start operation
no operation boobu sax c'est fake news because tey gis naa di press secretary of the naka council bi mooy di PRO bi def na some clarification su nga xam ne am na foog naa ne gis boobu moom bu na story bi ak nu mu fa demee dama wut noonu foog naa press release bi dinañ ko siyaa ak yéen jot naa ko sax xam naa ne dinañ ko siyaa si media house pour ñu wan ne because waxuñ ko noonu ñoom ni nga ko bindee ak lu council wax demee wut noonu so council lu mu def rek dafa am dialogue dafa waxtaana ñoo xamante ne ñoom parce que lu ñu wax mooy soo xool local government ak bi oo di bàyyi law bi dafa jox power di mayor office pour ñu doon di clean area si waaw comme mbedda itam gën a set tam wala waxul ne dañu ñëw di pousse ay nit because KMC bari na ay marché bari leen am wala soo xoolee problème mun ne am mooy ñëpp dañ de dawale Serekunda ak Latrikunda bon soo xoolee Ibo Town Abuko Tali ñëpp am marché waaye te mun loo force nit ki tam fa la war a jaay by force
Halifa mu ne is your responsibility
waaw xam nga moom lu ko naxari mooy comme boutique keram wala moom moom politicien la war naa mën a bind di council ne wan ne ñu toog sama boutique kër bëgg naa ñu génn so council dam ne mën a bés on loolu ne Halifa Sallah su ko wax ne boutique keram ñu fa toog war ne mën a génn
am na ñuy jaay boutique keram
waaw soo walee boutique keram mooy soo dem syndicat foofu gars yi dem fa de taxaw lu yàgg bari so moom ñëpp xam ne ne KMC bil nañ ay maquette marché dafa doy KMC sax KMC fa naa yeneen priorité leen am daan bil ay marché wala ñi yaay daw dem Serekunda daw dem Latrikunda ñaari marché la ñuy di daw dem parce que mun loo taxaw si mbéy nga ne doo dem Serekunda wala doo dem fii te ñu jënd bagage yi sax fu ñu dem Serekunda wala Latrikunda so jëndkat yi sax ñoom dañ dee bàyyi Ibo Town dem Serekunda so wala ñu bàyyi Fajikunda dem Latrikunda parce que Fajikunda am na marché bu ko am na marché so mun loo fa ñi ki fa la war a jëndee fu mu war a jëndee but KMC as a council mbiri marché moom bil nañ marché elf marché bil nañ ko waaw so xam nga fan la mu wax ne waaw suñu responsabilité pour ñu bil ay marché ay marché am na KMC fu nekk marché loolu kon am na marché Bakaw am na Ojuson am na fu nekk am na marché so foog naa ne ñun KMC suñu opération muy def mooy pour gis ne tali yi gën naa set bale ko mu set bu ko ni ngay door si sa moom ñu ngi ko organise pour nga gis ne every mois ñu génn dem bale dëkk bi loolu bokk na si responsibility of the councils and foog naa ne waa KMC gis ne liggéey xam ne ñu ngi koo def wante kenn ku nekk mun nga wax sa xalaat tam moom monsieur politicien su fii laagee ne am na something xam war na ko mun naa cost call de mid mayo bi ne am naa this kind of proposal lii laa foog di leen war def bi ko mun tam waa KMC la xalaatam tam ni nga ko jël ñu seet naka la si war a use pour gis ne tam gën leen si improvement si bari si council bi.
All right so seen council last week tamit bari na coow de. bari na coow de.
yaa jàpp coow bi. yaa si coow boobu. waaw.
yaa si coow bi. dama la coow.
waaw gis naa gars NDP yaa ngi dog.
pour que man si la understand ne. gars dañ lay seetaan
programme bi ak oncle lu intéressé yëpp. lu ndaw la gars toog rek.
waaw
mais council bi nii amul cas allowance amul fa.
ok
understand nga. loolu nekku KMC nekku si council bi.
alright
so ñoom ñu ne waa da nga am moto. ba tey yow yaa ngi am cas allowance yaa ngi request loolu amul council.
ok
loolu kañ la amoon mooy before this naka mais ñu as in office. the former council. 2018. time mu nga xam ne ñoom balaa 2018. ñoom time bu di Lady Yankuba ak council bi ñoom ñoo amoon loolu amoon na fa. wala bu ñuy ñëwee noonu mayor in 2017. 2018 ñoom ñoo pass le solution. ne lii wata mun a am mun loo nekk mun loo am sa moto. ba tey ngay request car allowance.
car allowance yeah doesn't make sense.
council pass le solution stop ko. so si biir solution bi. am na benn naka si head of the police naka municipal police.
waaw
ko xam ne Mr Mboup. moom da doon moom moto bi dafa yaaxu woon. so waaye ñu ngi ko doon jox car allowances car allowances sama waaye amount bi it was $1,500.
waaye fekk moom moto dafa
yaaxu. $1,500 lañ ko doon jox. so this time bu ñu xoolee liste bi ñu gis ne ba tey moom mu ngi ànd ak payment. léegi moto bi am na moto bi pare na. so ñu génne ko fa. so mu amoon query bi si council bi. so mën nañu ne non waruñ koo génne xam nga council su ne management ak mayor nekkul benn. ñu bëri understand loolu. management bi mooy di CEO director of finance ñoom ñooy management of the council ñooy doon council bi. understand nga
government noonu la
seetee système bi wala soo dee management rek dañ ci def boole mayor
bi waaw
understand nga fekk mayor bi bokk si management bi. nekkul benn. so moo tax ma gis gars yi doon di maintenant tari benn soo scrop nangam kan KMC ni ngay joxe car allowance and car allowance soo demee si département government yëpp mu ngi fa. waaye ñun KMC ñoo pass solution génne ko fa. so loolu amul council.
yeah it doesn't make sense nga amee moto.
man right now man pay slip yi mayor maa ngi ko amee. council bi mayor mun na la ko siyaa sax mayor pay slip bi dafa gis benn cas allowance ne ko fa.
ok
seet na ma ko gis naa it. so kon yooyu xam nga dañ di xaaloo ndaw rek. xam nga ñoom benn comme de corruption
bi rek seen gars yi sax mer rek.
waaw war a gis nga fii su benn comme de corruption si nii. ñoom waruñ ko di laal waruñ ko di wax.
baax na ok. Ablaye welcome.
Thank you.
Really, is understandable. So 2024, so do they late? Wow. No, we are transforming because now 2025 you're going to start on time. So, but you know, I won't do they late to honest. Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you. I don't know where to pick up.
Just more content, no? Okay. I'm lost. We haven't started yet. Okay. Start for
Okay. Mange nuyu ñëpp mbe molbe content na. Everybody here and home and abroad. Mbe ala danila ntol be nga Gambia soto me yalo mbe ka wala ñini mele Gambia lo ye o Gambia si faale fenke. And ñaton kol fanan ala ye mako ye jego ke pour Gambia amanke pour ifango ye. And then it's always a pleasure to be on the show. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Welcome MC Cham Jino ti ani Ablaye Bojang ninna modol nanta dong albetol fanang jelale nyim programme moto bari nga lunta mo mi alonko nga soto mole mi alonko mo jamal bije mi alonko sulata le pro diamu ali alo ne mansa kunda kita molle mi alonko e lafta ye min fo wolem ko e lafta porole lola in sanyang nyim porlo dun diamu dolle wulta je mi alonko abota mil bulu wolle molti mi alonko lebe sabataring wo dulalto ani molu million ko walle kenol soto wo dulato min sunda sa intenten e be silendiro ke kan pour ka mansa kunda samba kitiola bari mune be kering sanyang ko jamalle bi je mi alon ko be tumirol bondi kan ne ka den mansa kunda kan walatina nga Momodou Samega Janneh soto jang pour nay kacha about ko lam yalon ko le bije groupe bije mi yalon ko ya form andum atele a nyaton kaya walatina nga nati jang atemu multi mi yalon ko kola dati dula kata fo a banta damen aya be lonne andum ibe jibero ki kanne prokaje ko isi mansa kunda sambano kitela Mr. Janneh, welcome.
Thank you very much.
I got your name right.
Samega Janneh.
Samega Janneh, exactly. Yes. It's Momodou Samega Janneh.
Momodou Samega Janneh, yeah. You know the Bio Samega Janneh.
Yeah, Bio Samega Janneh. I used to have a friend that I worked with at Star GSM. His name is Samega Janneh.
Then it would be the same family.
The same family, yeah. Is a family to the club owner.
Hatib. That's
yes.
my nephew.
So it's the same family.
Yes. Basically, if it's Samega Janneh in the Gambia, it's from my grandfather's side.
Right. That's right. Welcome. Dila Dalal, I want us to do this in Wolof or Mandinka. Pour xam nga rek ñuy déglu pour ñu gën a understand.
Okay. Suma wolof ak suma Mandinka nag setting torop.
Yeah, mun nga mix and blend then.
English would have been better because I'm out of the country for more than 50 years.
50 years. Wow.
That's understandable. So moo tax ma laakay even though maa ngi sañang dafa xala jaxasoo tuuti.
So bii moom this problem concerns a lot of people around Sanyang ñoo xam ne dégguñ Angale and a whole lot of people and so they will want to hear this in the local language. So I think it is good pour ñu def ko ci local language pour ñu gën ko understand. Waaye first nuyol ñoo xam ne ñu ngi laa seetaan.
Salaamaaleykum maa ngi nuyu mbokk yi yëpp Gambian inside Gambia and outside ak sun xarit yi nga xam ne ñu ngay toppatoo sun nit ñi. liñ si nekk léegi mooy ñu jéem a jàppante pour seet naka la ñoo yóbbu suñu dëkk bi kanam. moo gën di jéem a xalaat ku nekk sa bopp.
I know you are in the diaspora foofu laa bëgg a ñu starté balaa ñu ngi ñëw seen problème boo xam ne mu ngi xew in Sanyang.
waaw
gis nañ ne ministre bi génn na mu ne di remittance xaalis boo xam ne diaspora ñu ngi ko dugal Gambia fii dem na ba léegi 775 million. That is huge amount of money. Lan nga foog ne nguur bi o mun nañ ko def si diaspora bi ak ndax foog nga ne nguur bi taxawal nañ di diaspora.
Well, initially li nguur gi mun a def mooy ne ñu honor the commitment that was made back, I believe, in 2018. That the diaspora would be given a vote. And HE had made the same commitment when I saw him. Them directly into English.
No, it's okay. You can just mix.
That's it. When I saw him in London 2017 when we were going round meeting everyone, that was one of the main commitments that was given. That the diaspora would be given the vote and being citizens of the country. It is paramount that they have a proper say in what is happening. Just because a person is outside of the country doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be supporting one party or another. Most of the people that are out there are trying their best to do what is best for the country. And I think that is the important thing, to try and get people to feel like they are part of the community rather than shunning them and pushing them out until you need their money.
So do you feel like the diaspora is pushed away by the government?
Yes, I mean, just by not giving the people the vote is pushing them away because you find, if I'm seeing something that's happening in my own country and I want to do something about it and I cannot really pack up my bags and come back, it would be good to be able to vote who is going to be representative of us, because the government, be it the civil service or the ministers, etc., or the president, are our servants. Most people in Africa tend to think that the government is the master and the taxpayers are the servants. It's the other way around. They're our servants and they are there to do our will. And it is one of those things that it is important that they do listen to the people that are out, the people that are in. Some of the people that might have gone out could have been convinced to come back home. For instance, I was convinced to come back home when Jammeh made the announcement, I think 2006, about 1998, sorry, asking for Gambians to come back home and help develop the country. So 99, I sold up most of the things that I had to come back. So, but if it was that, it wasn't just the one side of the argument, it was because the way things were going at the time, I thought that it's better if I'm close to the family. That way I can do what I can do to make sure that they're protected. And it's one of those things where people that are out do need to be made to feel like they can come home at any time and they're not going to be judged. Because yes, a lot of people are out. It is hard out there. And some people might not be the millionaires that people think them to be. But if we can convince people to come back, you'll get engineers that will be coming back, you'll get scientists that will be coming back, doctors that will be coming back. And that is going to be for the benefit of the whole of the country, rather than them working outside and giving the benefit out there.
I'll get back to you. MC? Diaspora bi dafa mel ni xaalis bi yokku na this year. According to the minister, $775 million, not dollars, dollars. loolu lañ yónnee biir Gambia loo xam ne ñëw na through the right channel. I know this local lifin bi dafa dee nekk. Lan nga foog si diaspora bi?
Well, anyway, diaspora bi they play a key role pour gis ne Gambia am na change in 2016. Before 2016, they were at the media doing everything possible to gis ne Jammeh is out. So how this current government, first meeting bu Barrow am ak diaspora bi, mu doon gërëm gaay in 2017 or 2018. Ne diaspora bi didn't play a role, not all going to the media, but then contribute financially pour gis ne political change am na. Through the ballot box. So da nga gis ne ñoom suñ play role bu ba gis ne change am na pare am na lot of promise nga xam ne am na soo xoolee Gambia fu Guinée-Bissau du joxe seen citizen outside ñuy vote. So why not Gambia? So loolu dafa nekk lu nga xam ne but sometimes bu dee xool in the political side ne su ma joxee diaspora di voting right man I might not even win in diaspora. Because soo xoolee many
dama déglu Dr. Cissé mu ngi wax ne because suñ voting system we are using ballot this thing.
Wow,
man how can we can only use these ballots to vote outside of the country?
Mabul bi sax soo xoolee Sénégal ñoom sax ni ngi.
He said you cannot carry all these things and.
suñ mabul bi. bu ko mën a ma gëm ne. yooyu nekkul excuse yu nga xam ne war nañ koo jël si government side bi. because pare xam nga government they respect the ruling of the judgment of comme si courthouse yi nii. because soo xoolee moo tax ma gisee Essa Mbye ne dafa yóbbu. Government bi court pour gis ne diaspora dañ war a vote. So ma ne xëy na Essa nekku di update as a politician.
Nekku di follow things.
Waaw because di follow things because loolu already am na. June 2021 the lack of Bibi Dabo and Coach Pasamba Jaw and others. Dem nañ court ba court def ruling ne diaspora dañ war a vote. So foog naa Essa lu mu war a wax mooy dinañ dem court pour gis ne rule bu gaay def dañ ko war a implement.
Yeah, government ñoo war a implement.
Waaw so foog naa implementation la gaa war a yóbbu government si that side boobu moom. as patem bi. but not to go to court pour rule nga xam ne am na already. So foog naa ne boobu tam call na some of his people. ma ne la seen waay sometimes is good tam ku ko host interview sax. call naa ko ma ne ko sa inde ma ne ma xam nga xëy na ko bëgg a def am political point ma ne ko non ma ne ko rule am na already. so ma ne ko yow tam yow mu interview nit ki sax sometimes da nga war a well inform sa boppa. su waxee li nga ne ko dee lii am na. loolu mooy rôle journaliste. wala nekkul nga bàyyi ko mu explain so adbe yaa ngi ko dugal su nga xam ne so da nga gis ne diaspora bi den am right pour vote. man loolu yàgg naa ko wax yàgg naa ko complain even the political parties even xam nga fan la Gambia doo di am problème mooy National Assembly bi in 2017 gis nga all these reforms yi yëpp waroon na mun a am by that time fekk Barrow amagul political interest time bu leen woon a fast track all this thing ba gis nañ kenn yëpp nekk na in place but diaspora bi lu gaa di compte bul xool ne yow soo la joxee voting right yow you might lose that mun nga faa ñàkk elections du defee wut noonu because tey mun ngaa jox gaay ñu am right pour vote nga win sa but so dem nañu
exactly because NPP they have a lot of supporters in diaspora.
They have even structures si diaspora bi am nañ ay chapters called America France fu nekk am nañ fa ay chapter so is there a role responsibility pour gis ne ñoom tam convince nañ Gambie su fa nekk ñu votal seen candidate bi but fu Guinée-Bissau other country Gambie léegi àdduna bi ñu ngi vote àdduna bi yëpp aw seen doomi si biti ñu ngi vote parce que soo xoolee amaan bu ngay dugal si dëkk bi fii dafa bari parce que kër bu nekk fii si amul ku nekkul diaspora Gambia kër boobu mu ngi sona
bu baax non soo amul ku nekk diaspora sax da ngaa am remittance from the diaspora
waaw diaspora na am sa benn friend boo xam ne so foog naa ne government bi li mu war a def mooy ruling am na at the Supreme Court ne ñii dañ war a vote and soo xoolee te ñu nekk si cabinet bi ñu si ëppa time Yaya Jammeh dañ doon complain loolu ñu si ëppa donc Ibrahima Sila yi ñu yëpp time Jammeh dañ doon complain ne diaspora dañ war a vote nii yëpp waaye léegi right now ñoom ñëpp léegi si government bi nekkul di ko wax because fii laa ne so lañ joxee voting right ñoom they will vote against your government.
I think Jide is right when he said that because so xoolee even the ñoo xam ne am nañ dual citizenship you cannot be a minister you cannot be a president you cannot be a National Assembly member
You can only be a mayor and councillor.
You will be there campaigning.
You can only be a mayor and councillor.
Yes, you will be there campaigning for them, but you cannot be appointed. You know.
So but so the intellectual si you nekk si diaspora si biti.
Dafa bari.
ñu xamé dañ jàng ñu si biti. So système moo taxoon ñu bari nekkul daw génn dëkk bi. So foog naa laws yi dañ ko war a xoolaat. ñu seen naka la mën a loo dafa war a flexible. Because mu la nekk si outside Gambia yaa ngi fa am ñu yaa ngi am good position foofu nga war a ñëw saa sa dëkk. Pero fi benn ñaar sa so dela was a passport of America or a passport of Angleterre because of government appointment. 1 day or 2 days when you dismiss without no explanation, you local children to any court. Because the appointment means dismiss the local children court.
Yeah, that is right.
So kon lo dafa rek lu nga xamne dama believe ne diaspora bi den am rightful vote foog naa tey ñu nekk si current government bi ñu nga xam ne ni ngeen serve si government bi den war a xool seen promise xam nga politicien sa campagne promise den ko war a waxuma de 100% bi war nga ko mën a fulfil because mun loo koo def sa time but am na yoo xam ne kii la bu nga xam ne loolu dafa yomba but even loolu nga xam ne pour diaspora nekk soo demee si embassy yi xam ne ñu fa nekk yi gis nañ yëpp issue leen voters card boo si élection njort si nekkee ne gars yi dañoo travel dem dëkkatu dëkk sax pour dem vote bàyyi na ngay def ko rek kenn ko na xam kan moo am fu jëne bi fu ma nekk fu jëne bi saa di amee loolu fan la Gambie war a de
Definitely. Thank you so much, MC. Ablay, diaspora contribution, dafa mel ni léegi dem na to $775 million. What is your take about the diaspora?
Remittances, first, the government is very selfish to Gambians away. Very selfish to them. You know, the reality is this. Why is government year in, year out ñu ngi ñëw di celebrate nangam xaalis moo dugg si réew mi from our sons or daughters in Senegal, in America? Why? Okay, why are they not telling us how much we are also sending to them? It should be, you know, a two-way street.
Yeah.
If these people are pumping money, what are we pumping into them or for them on behalf of Gambia? And that is why I tell people, remittance is not money only. Expertise is there. Knowledge is there. That's the more reason we came with Kabomba Academy. You see, when somebody lives in UK for 20 years, acquired all these skills, the expertise, and so on, at some point, he's going to be nostalgic. He wants to go back home.
Yeah.
That is the reality. Now, when he comes home, he's not only bringing wealth as in monetary terms, he's bringing exposure, experience, expertise, skills. And the vehicle that should actually make that happen or facilitate it is government policies and interventions to get them back. But are they doing that? They are not. And you see, how much of these 775 or 76 million actually is put into retirement planning of Gambian diaspora? It's put into investments. For these Gambians now, when they come back, they will only sit and the money comes and employment is created. You struggle in the snow for 20 years. Yeah. You come back, you're going to still struggle in the Gambia. How many, you know, how much of that have we seen? How many people do we see? Because if you want to invest here, most Gambians are out of touch as far as the investment business landscape, entrepreneurship landscape in the Gambia is concerned, because they've been away for so long. Is there a government department doing that for them, facilitating that for them? So that they know, okay, I have 2 million, I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, you can do this in 5 years, it will get you this, and when you come back, you can have your this. But they are only bringing this money to build house. I'm not saying house is bad. I'm not saying they are only bringing money to give food. I'm not saying food is bad. But what is wrong with getting them? For example, at some point, we don't have a DNA lab in the Gambia. What is wrong with getting Gambians in the diaspora who have idea about and tell you know, invest? We will give you land, government. Instead of giving reserve lands to ministers who already have 10, 20. Give a plot of land to 2, 3 Gambian diaspora, whatever, and then say, you know what, invest in this area. We don't have. We give you the guarantees, we give you tax break, we give you this. Again, what is wrong with the Gambia government? Instead of all the time money coming, what is wrong with the Gambia government sending 1,000 people every year to learn in different things that we, Gambia, will need in 50 years? You see, India is one of the places I follow. It's not that they are my cup of tea per se, no. but they have a deliberate strategy. Remittance is not going to be sustainable. We need to also have quality. Quality as in what? If now you send most of these Gambians, allow me, Buba, I'm going to take your time. Most of these Gambians that, let's say, go through the bad way, their quality in terms of expertise is low. Most of them don't upgrade themselves. They're okay, they're complacent with the little that they have. When they come back, they are no more skillful for the economy. They don't fit in the Gambia because we have moved past. And they also don't fit there. So when they come, they become redundant. But what is wrong with creating a way where now you are going to make sure the Gambian diaspora has the chance, the skill and everything, so that if they leave Gambia, anywhere they go, they are needed. And let's say if they are getting £2,000 per month, because you are a medical doctor, you will now have, let's say, 5,000, and that 5,000 will translate into how much now you can send back. That is a deliberate way of increasing the remittance. Is government doing that? No. They are actually, how do I call it? They are chopping you for nothing. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. So it's like they are very unfair to the Gambia. They are very unfair to you. You are, a pool that you can tap from. And that's why I always tell people, you see, people are selfish. Why must we be talking about, okay, we don't have lecturers in the game? No. We have Gambians teaching at Cardiff University, Oxford, Harvard. What is wrong with you coming up with an online component where this guy in the UK will now take mathematics because that's what he knows, even though he's in the UK. Now, he's sending money, but he's also sending his expertise.
The whole is evolving,
Well, if you look at, for instance, Dr. James Ndao, he's a professor at Edinburgh. And in a field that is highly needed in the Gambia. He tried to set up a hospital, people interfered, This is what happens. And that is one of the things that does happen, that people come after a short period of dealing with the petty jealousies that you find. I do take exceptions that Gambians that are out, even though they're left without the prerequisite qualifications and so on, they do tend to progress, because one of the things that you will have to do, like for instance, if you go to Finland as a mechanic, you do need to go to a school to upgrade. You cannot just go in as a fitter and continue that way. So then you tend to find that there is a system. It's plus, to the system of growth. Right. But it is one of the thing here is that when you get that jealousy that's interfering with people, that causes the issue.
That's right. So, yes, I'm going there. I want us to talk about something.
What I want to, you see, for me, I don't even believe in us having a directorate for the diaspora at Foreign Affairs. I believe in us having a complete institution.
A ministry.
The diaspora is very much beneficial than the government in so many ways. We're talking about 32% of the GDP. Very soon they become 60% because they were 22. Yeah. So I don't understand how a government would brag when almost half of your GDP is contributed by, let's say, a few Gambians away. And you want to deny them voting. You want to deny them so many things. If they come here, just look at the Gambian Diaspora Club. They just want to come and help. But because of politics, you want to whatever. So these are some of the things. I want the government to create a special institution for that. I want also councils to begin to have a diaspora office. Even if it's going to be a diaspora liaison officer who will now liaise with the people in West Coast to now help Gambian diaspora who want to come. How do you help them invest? How do you help them come back to the Gambia and stuff like that? That is what will make us get the billions, not the 700 and something that we are talking about.
All right. MC, President wasn't, but I knew James to start the topic itself. But then you know what? Because the president was in Faraba yesterday, and he said he is not happy with some of the work. Lige bo hamne mungi heu Faraba mune load to be contact bum fa deme contact because mom num ko foge on bum neke office am ak lum gis dafa different dafa bugon load to be mu neka part of the independence celebration this year, but he was disappointed when he got there.
So the president is not happy.
He's not happy. Oh, but do you say not on that side? What do you say? No, the president is not happy. The news are happy. How is that? It's a because not on that side. All right.
President be happy with. So you say you happy.
Yeah.
Anyway, foog naa bii ne ko the first time. The president mu ngi wax the same kind of thing. maa ngi fàttaliku the OIC road network bi tam in Yundum.
waaw
waxoon na fa ne moom is not happy. but at the end of the day amul kenn ku hold account. Because so now you are not happy. Someone should be hold account for lu tax lu nga def. foog naa ne you should benn nga def action or say Minister of Works immediately an emergency meeting with the company nga xam ne dafa ngeen agree because contract la da ngeen def sign duration within this month or this year dinañ make sure ne job bi pare na bo su nekkee loolu possible ut yow as the president soo taxawee nga ne you are not happy loo war a njëkkee def mooy immediately am nga sometime dañ dee xawa against Jammeh but Jammeh yi kaay nii da nga ko nangul Jammeh
du ko di caane
waaw so su la joxee contract nga ne ko dee bi na war a perewut am na benn time ñu ngi demoon too many people too bi Jammeh man maa ngi fa woon bu demee boori chairman yu si di ob bi noonu am na yenn project pour defi doon so contractor bi lu war a liggéey deful ko so Jammeh bu mu ko wax ne ko yow lii laa wax nga liggéey defuloo lii ak lii gis nga bu Jammeh di pere balaa Jammeh di pere NIA ko takane waaji
No, we don't need that.
No, thank you.
Agreement bi.
We don't need that.
Dama expliqué ne comme leadership bi. Comme bu la xam nga njiit.
Si la ko doon def.
Waaw xam nga kilifa. Kenn mënu ko.
Dama Barrow wax na de. Damay dégg ma contractor bi the talk is too much. Wax na ko contractor bi.
Barrow taxaw na fi ne xaw ma jaxato. Barrow tàngoo xaw ma naka fan la mujjee so yaram baa de tàng rek ne computer bi si tàngee so mun naa wax lii ak lii so at bi dee fu mu dee mujjee mooy su fa jógee pass fàtte na ko because gis nga yërëmaane
dem wax na contractor bi mu ne ko ne the talk is too much when I saw this thing I don't know the structure my mood changed so
mood change
yeah so
lan mooy constitution war a ñëw loolu moo war a am instantly because from there as a president war naa mën a oote emergency meeting mu toog with the contractor ak ministry bi ñëw review documents yi lan mooy agreement lan mu tax mu dégg nii.
They actually had a emergency meeting yesterday there. Boom after complaint.
After the complaint. Emergency bu mu mujjee mooy négociation bu fa nekk rek kenn ku nekk ne waaw nen xam nga comme lu ko Essa wax rek government yi naka yekkale la. xam nga nguuru yekkale. So xëy na am na ko xam ne tam mu ngi ci beneen side bi mun naa négocier président ko noonu nañ ko jox chance.
Yeah, the contractor was very honest because highlight na some of the challenges yoo xam ne am nañ ko mbiri taw bi but also donors yu nekk di jox fay xaalis bi. wax na ne xaalis bi du mu nekk di ñëwee ok. I think the money is from the Islamic Development Bank and Badi. foofu la nekk di ñëwee la exactly. suñ bëggee am dara foofu noonu. He was very honest to the president.
so daa gis ne foofu laa wax ma ne dem na ñëw yëpp. si nekkee président bi happy wut. kon dëkk bi am na problème.
All right. So, Ablay?
Yes. This is it, right? Gis nga moo dama de woon nit ñi rek. One of the most difficult professions is lying.
You gotta remember what lies you told.
Yes. The most difficult profession is lying. It's very difficult. Very, very difficult. You see, the youths are happy, but the person is not happy. I don't understand that. How does that happen? Logic cannot, So you see, this is not the first time.
It should be a headline.
It is not the first time. The president would go on tour to inspect places, project sites, and he would absolutely tell you what I believed when I was in office and what actually is happening is different. And that is the more reason why he should begin to listen to the ordinary Gambian. Because the ordinary Gambian has nothing to lose for telling him the truth. But those around him have something to lose if they tell him the truth. That is why they will never tell him the right thing. So that is what he should learn. That, you know what, in this office, they will make everything fine, gold for me. But when I move out to the ordinary Gambian, who doesn't have anything to benefit from me directly, he wouldn't be scared to tell me the truth. He will tell me as it is. And we commend him for going out. And he should be doing this frequently. Unannounced, go to RVH and see how things are happening. Unannounced, go to Naweg, go to anywhere. Come to Kelfat or anywhere. See how things are happening. Give your opinion. Tell them, let's do this, and so on. This is what we need. But the truth is this, again, if the contractor is saying, oh, the money that is coming, and you see, I always tell people, I have never seen a country that developed to its aspiration to lose Sadaka.
donation.
Yeah.
Why must we toe that line? That okay, they have to give us, they have to no. Stop these your talks that are unnecessary. Pump the money into where it is needed. These travels that are unnecessary, stop them. Pump the money into where it is needed. That is what will take us. But if we still continue on this same colonial mentality of, you see, it's shameful that most of our structures are still colonial. You know, what they left is what we're still managing with. It's like we have not moved. And this is what is impeding us. So the president should make sure he cuts all these unnecessary things, you know, these whatever, and pump into the right places. Otherwise, we will continue to have the same thing.
All right. The Queen is around. Welcome.
Absolutely.
The Queen of Bantaba. Welcome, Queen.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, can you this is the first program 2025 for MC. MC won't have completely.
Okay.
But welcome.
Today
I like your voice. It's very calm and very nice.
Okay.
Thank you for coming up with this voice. We are
enjoying
it. So we actually talked about the diaspora because this year Halis Bidefo Yoko, they sent remittance to $775 million US. I wish I'm Lolo right now. But we also spoke about Lolo witness the president, the Mona Faraba side visit. He said he's not happy with some of the things that are happening there. What is your reaction?
Well, jërëjëf Buba di leen nuyu rek di nuyu seen gan bi tamit di ko dalal waaye nekk na loo xam ne waxoon nañ ko ñu ngi ko waxaat te dinañ continuer di ko wax unless li war a defu mu defu diaspora bi seen cër ak seen maxaama seen importance ci xaalis yi ngay tudda nii koom-koom gi wane na ko waaye fooguma ne man suma gis-gis teg nañ leen fi ñu leen war a teg jox nañ leen cër ji nga xam ne moom lañ elloo respect nañ leen man saa yu nekk damay wax ne dooma yaakaar ba pare yàpp ma so dafa jot pour ñamit ñu am ay taxawaay jël ay matuwaay pour wane ne am na luñ mun am na luñ xam am na fuñ toll am na luñ mun a def te da ngeen am pour jox ñu cër googu noonu pour ñu def ko suñ fàttale ko defoon nañ fi this lawsuit biñ defoon pour the diaspora voting and things like that, you know waaye fan la toolu again ñu go back to this administration not respecting the rule of law xam nga ay sampa ay court waaye respectuñ leen cëraluñ leen parce que suñ demee through due process ñooñu def ay dogal dañuy jël loolu taaj ko parce que nekkut lu leen arrangé nekkut lu neex si ñoom so dañ koy taajee boor te gis nañ ne dara du ciy génn so loolu kañ lay arrêté loolu kañ lay stop ak kan moo ko war a stop man yaakaar naa ne lu mun a stop la yaakaar naa ne war naa stop you know te yaakaar naa ne askan bi mun nañ koo stop parce que doole bi ci askan bi la nekka so loolu jot na pour ñu xamal ko suñ boppa pour ñu stop ko jël matuwaay pour loolu noonu génn xaalis gi bari na te kaay ma wax la next year dina gën a yokku dina gën a yokku dafay gën a yokku rek xam nga ba pare parce que Gambie mi nekk nañ ñoo xam ne am nañ jom am nañ fula mun nañ liggéey gëm nañ seen boppa parce que Gambie ngaa nekk ñu kayit loola boo génnee Gambie nga dem fekk fa doomi Gambien nga xam ne ngàcce ngaalaama am na luñ mun am na luñ xam te ñu ngi dox tànka yoo xam ne ñu ngi fompa di dog bu mi gàcce man dama ko seetee suma boppa Gambia fii boo jàppee ne kii n'importe kii la or whatever let me just cross the borders into Senegal dama dee laaj suma boppa man may kan ndikete man toll naa fii nga génne Gambia dem feneen muy diaspora bi muy west bi I engage with people dama dee toogaat ne waaw kon man toll naa fii kon am na ñu may xoolee bot yi nii waaye nga ñëw Gambia ñu laa jàppee ne who are you nga wax lii dëgga ñu ne opposition nga wax lii dëgga ñu ne bugut ma nga wax lii dëgga ñu ne daf ko against daf ko hate daf ko iñaanee ku teeda ba pare liggéeyam defam dem ba dikka kooku lu moo iñaanee nit nga iñaanee koo xam ne li nga am amu ko fi nga dem demu fa li nga def du ko def li nga làkka kootaam du ko làkka kooku naka ngaa iñaanee kooku noonu because li ñuy wax moto bi sa kanam ngaa korne waaye bi not bu ca gannaaw waaye suñ mentality foofu lañ ko dee jëlee instead of ñu look for the wisdom in li ngaa wax seet boo waxee du lépp moo mun a baax parce que nit mutut mun ngaa juum waaye boo waxee ñu seet li ci baax ñu jël ko dëgëral ko li ci bon ñu seet tamit naka la ñoo jëlee loolu wecc ko ba yow mi ko wax ëllëg si biir doo ko waxee waat noonu waaye booy génnee rek leneen lañ cey gis ba pare Gambie fii soo ne ñu cloud ko with politics soo ne ñu ngi xool lan moo tax muy ko wax kan la jege ñanteel ban political party nga ko dee gën a gisal kan laa ko gisoon démb mooy waxtaanal nga align ko ak moom comme man every day ñu align ma with the political party te du ne dama bokka du ne dama bokka waaye si suma jëfin ak suma waxin loolu mooy tax ñu align ma every day nag ba tey nag amaguñ fuñ ma boole at every week ñu génne ma fenn dugalaat ma fenn parce que xëy na li may wax méngoowut ak ñi maa boole feneen so mentality boobu noonu moo war a change waaye again not to deviate diaspora bi am nañ cër goo xam ne buñ la ko joxut
nga join Noto Alliance. What do you think of that?
ban mooy Noto Alliance oh not
What do you think of that?
my brother xam nga Noto Alliance bi man li ma si jaar even Ablaye sax Ablaye is on the bubble
Yeah, Ablaye is like this.
waaw so Ablaye man su ma ko toppa Ablaye dinaa xaw a réer
Ablaye bokk na alliance.
No, Ablaye
déedéet Ablaye Noto Alliance la waaye Ablaye léegi
Ablaye bokk na alliance.
non Noto Alliance la xam nga li issue bi mooy man dama foog ne dëkk bi the way we do partisan politics is wrong.
It's wrong.
I agree
When Noto Alliance is wrong, we say it's wrong.
It's wrong.
I agree
That is why, for me, believe me, maybe I'm more popular here than Noto Alliance. Because the truth is, they don't like people that can say things the way they are.
Yeah.
That is it. So it's like, for me, I'm a threat.
but you know what
And when you come, it's going to be more problematic. Double problem.
moo tax ma bañ
So now it's a
moo tax ma bañ a affiliate or align parce que again I'm a non-conformist man I don't sugarcoat so te da ngaa gis ne parti yi dañoo bugga sur broñee sax they will prefer to tell you déedéet xam nga soo ko waxee dafa dem against us let's talk about it or whatever but dinañ bugga nga taxaw nga ŋàñña keneen dinañ bugga nga taxaw nga call keneen out dinañ bugga nga point out the wrong the flaws the ill wills of another party I'm going to do that man I equally fu ma bokka bu roñee dama dafa rong bu baaxee mën a dafa baax su ma munee wax keneen baaxaayam o bonaayam war naa mun a wax fa ma bokka o fa ma ne ñun tamit parce que kenn perfectu you understand so at the end of the day I think the diaspora need to regroup right I have a very very frank conversation because diaspora bi tamit partisan politics moo leen gëteen partisan politics moo leen giteen yes they are the diaspora waaye ku ci nekk soo xoolee beyond partisan politics get yourself together li ngeen moom ngeen am ko understand nga li ngeen elloo ñu jox leen ko ba pare ku ci nekk nag soog a faram fàcce ku nekk bokka boobu dafa neex waaye partisan politics moo tax they are not seeing the bigger picture and at the end of the day everybody else is boxed in the same box and everybody is suffering so unless they see beyond that problem bi dafa continue because again this administration diaspora bi am rights yi nga xam ne lañ elo doesn't favor them so am nañ xaalis bi am nañ expertise bi am nañ xam-xam bi am nañ man-man bi am nañ pas-pas bi so loolu boo leen joxee beneen doole pour ñu sànni karta which means ne yow yaa ngi leen di jox everything boo xam ne lu leen neex mun nañ la koo def the deciding factor is in them so moo tax ñuy leen di noot waaye tamit legally mun nañoo fight loolu ñu génnee ko parce que doole bi ci ñoom la nekk
so Barrow visit to his visit to Faraba déglu nga ko démb you listen to it
dégg naa ko déglu ma ko waaye dégg naa ko parce que fii social media bang fi but then again I said to myself okay another unhappy moment it's not the first
it's not
consistently we have seen him visit projects or things and right there and then express dissatisfaction express displeasure and then everything goes cool and dandy no consequences. Nobody is held to account. You know, there is no accountability. There is no transparency. So that's why, handle all of the water ku mean sa wax yep la. Te man dama feel ne Barrow dañ ko yep. Yep gu metti sa. Parce que gis nga bàyyi xel boy grow up am na kër yi am xaj. Xale yi dañoo ñëw laal bunti kër bi. Xaj bi boo mbaw xale yi daw. understand ñu ñëwaat laal bunti kër bi xale yi boobu mbaw ñu daw suñ ko defee ñaar ñetti yoon ñeneenti yoon gis ne xaj bi dafa boobu rek génnut xale dañoo ubbi bunti kër gi di nga gis xaj bi génn riite du ŋànk kenn du màtta kenn xaj boobu yëpp nañ ko xaj bi xale yi dinañ dugg aaji sorance bi aaji mango bi dog flowers yi tilimal wall bi parce que dara du xew and loolu laa gisee this administration wax rek la te dara du xew kan tell me one person koo xam ne def na loo xam ne ànduta luwa o yaaxa na luwa njuuj njaat na lubal na alali askan bi ba pare ñu xool ko to account ba ñëpp gis ne kii de lim def jaarut yoon waaye tamit li ko war a dal na ko name one in the history of this administration.
Maybe Banja.
Oh, that was naka lañ ko waxatee a mold. That was a mold.
Wasn't he pardoned?
Yeah.
One year.
No, but Teglul, that was a syndicated scheme.
Yeah.
It was a scheme. It was an arranged thing for somebody to be the sacrificial lamb, but it was arranged and lan gis the end result. You understand? I mean, man buguma ken ko torox or whatever. Why Banja am nañu ko gën a elloo pardon parce que suñ demee ba confirm ne alali askan bi nga luubal loolu amul lu ko gën a garaaw man pour man loolu moo gën a garaaw ki tuxtaay ñu def ko fa man loolu moo gën a garaaw kuñ jox su osusu nga am soxla jël xaalis si osusu bi lekk ko o jël ko fayal ko sa ay doom ñu yóbbu la court sentence yóbbu ko man kooku moo gën a elloo pardon waaye ñooñu pardon nañ la boo demee mile to remand ñi fa nekk ñoo xam ne petit crime dégg la man sàcc dama ko sib dama ko bañ joxuma kenn excuse waaye kooku moo gën a elloo pardon parce que alali nguur boo ko jëlee dafa mel ni 2.5 million nga xañ loo xam ne ñoo ko moom kooku jaruñ ko pardon kooku na dem mu serve time mooy consequences yi so moo tax man dama believe ne loolu was a front it was not a genuine thing to hold somebody to account.
All right.
Why, within a short time, and he's running his business.
Yes.
When people who should be pardoned, who are more deserving, are still languishing there in the dilapidated, horrible mire too, which even a goat is not deserving of being in that place.
Dema wax na si code bi mune selam bi amul even a window, you know.
Ku wax loolu?
Ousainou Bojang.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, it is disgusting.
I believe it.
We went there with Samega Janneh a couple of years back with donations. The photographer caught me off guard, and I looked so disgusted. That at that time, anybody that was responsible for that thing come in front of me would have had a hard time. But Banja, I mean, before he got arrested, I mean, we were dealing with the fish meal issue. And he was one of those people that attended meetings with us with the then minister. To tell people that the wastewater that was being chucked into the sea, that the fish that people need to live on, which is then now turned to powder to feed to pigs in China. You know that there's pigs in China that are heavier than our cows.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'll send you some pictures later.
Okay.
So,
Oh yeah.
So basically, I mean, like you said, the damage that is been done. Now, if you go to look for fish at the market, bonga and so on, it's scarce. And the damage is ongoing, and it's for the future generations. The economic crimes are not, I mean, in China, that these people are working with the Chinese. You do economic crimes, they take you out to the back of the prison and shoot you.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
I mean, there's no pardon because I mean, you are doing harm that is going to be continuous. Yeah, and that is the thing that they have to try and get into people's heads. That you don't take somebody out and degrade the diplomatic service by putting a thief into the diplomatic service. And what does that do to our diplomats that are out? I mean, my initial periods of life were spent with my dad going around from embassy to embassy. The Gambian embassy and the Gambian passport was held in very, very high regard.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, for a very, very long time. The Gambian passport, you didn't need the visa for most of Europe. Now, you go to the passport control here, and you're seeing diplomatic passport after diplomatic passport after diplomatic passport. And you look at these guys and say, if these guys are representatives, then we're in trouble.
ambassador at large and goodwill ambassadors. Now let's go to your.
No, you see Chinese being ambassador at large,
Yes.
Korean, Malian, everybody holds the passport. And I remember when the passport was red, you're so proud traveling to flaunt it.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go, somebody was like, oh, let me look at it because it is prestige.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it was honorable to hold it. But now you're traveling, you have to do your passport like this, under your ticket or under your boarding pass, because you're ashamed to show that you are Gambian, because that's how we have lowered the standard, because of who we entrust the mantle of leadership. It's hard. It's really sad. Now, I just wanted to comment on what MC said. Yes, I mean, Tani Jame, because if you're seen or cut to be doing something wrong, there were consequences.
Yes.
And nit ñi nekkuñ di def lu bon de waaye ñu ngi nubu, which means ne ragal nañ te xam nañ lu leen cee fekka. Now man nga def lu bon def loolu bon foguma ne dañ la war a rey. As an activist, I will not advocate for anybody to be killed. But then soo defee lu wrong, then am na lu war a tegu sa kaw. Waaye li ma wax I guess MC lim doon bëgg a wax fu mooy ne there was leadership. Everybody knows ne somebody is in charge, somebody is in control. Even Halebu Judusa, Yaya Jammeh. Somebody was in charge. But currently, you don't know who is in charge. One issue, you have to talk to 37 people, and each one of them will tell you something different how to go about the same issue. So nobody is in charge. And ku nekk nge rocc fu nekk, ku nekk nge rocc fi nekk.
Léegi maa ñëw si yoon bi. Maa gis Wasong Gambi ni ngi binam bi Tombong Jara speaker. So ma xelaa ma ne moom Tami Jambi lu mu am nii. Mu ko am Tami Jambi.
Te nekkoon na speaker.
Tami Jambi rek na dee. Di gën a dee wala Jambi.
Te nekkoon na speaker.
Speaker during demonstration.
Majority leader or minority leader?
Waaw waaye Tami Jambi lu mu struggle ni yëpp. Ma ne ko raaj naa xoolal léegi. Ma ne ko léegi lu mu am si lu mu bénéficie ci Baro. Xam nga Baro government am ñëpp la. Jambi da nga ne moom kenn la. Waaw wala léegi xoolal yow nga jël sa doom nga appoint sa doom mu dem study ji ba tey ñu ngi koo fay xam nga yooyu Tami Jambi xel nga def loolu.
I think that is a minute that we need to. You see, it's a very salient point people are talking about. But I think the worst part of it is getting people who actually are confirmed criminals red carpet to your party as the president of the country. They are going to court and you accept them into your party and even give them a red carpet. It means you either come and you are saved or you are not saved if you don't join me. And this is the thing. In fact, that's the solution. People are doing stuff and from there they now just go and join NPP.
It's a safe haven.
Yes, safe haven for criminals and other people. At the expense of taxpayers. That the president should stop.
All right.
You cannot be going to court and you come to my party and I give the red carpet.
No. Baro is more politics.
Politics So can you take us through how many government bi ñu ngi ñëw sampa port according to them in Sanyang, and port bi ni yow nekk nga koo xam ne bind nga si lu bari, you know, I follow on your social media, that is Facebook, and you've also you know, send a lot of evidence yoo xam ne, you know, am naa ko. Why? What is the problem yan ak nguur bi right now?
Do ak nguur gi because the laws on land acquisition leer na mais su nguur gi buggee dara si sa loxo daf la am pour approach la ne la dama soxla lii pour the general public good waaye ñii niñ nekk di laahu and the director of the GPA who really we have are from the same compound ne waxtaan nag ñi am ay kër Sanyang waxtaan naa ñi nga xam ne they will be affected. I'm not going to mince my word. That is a lie. That is a lie. I telephoned him directly from when I was in Finland to say, look, I've heard about this. Oh, we may be looking at Tangi, we may be looking at this. The main thing for me that I think they're going to be doing, because you remember when they started, they said, well, they were going to create Banjul ports and Sanyang ports at the same time. And that once they finish with Sanyang port, they are going to make Banjul ports into a high-class accommodation with those nice mosquitoes. Now, The law says that if they're not going to be using it for a port, they've got to give it back to the people of Afdai. Haven't got the power in the law to sell it. They can sell it back to the people of Afdai for the money that they gave them. And that is what the law says. If the people of, that were owning it previously decide they don't want it, then that's well and good, then the government can dispose of it as it sees fit. Now, when they come with this Turkish company, the video that they created said that they're going to be doing mining, they're going to be doing fisheries, they're going to be doing this, they're going to be doing that.
And it's Al-Baik company.
Al-Barak, yeah.
Okay.
And for me, the problem comes in a number of ways, because the map that the Al-Barak used, I actually created for Google. And that's one of those things where, like I said, when you look at petty jealousies in the Gambia, that when the map was being done, I turned around and said, give me the street names of everywhere, and I will name every street in the Gambia. Then we wouldn't have had the problems of finding you.
Yes.
And I will name every street, and they thought I was going to be making millions. For me, what they do is they're just holding back the place. So Al-Barak agreement, the company seems to be mired in problems everywhere that they've had a dealing. This dealing of saying that the government takes 20%, Al-Barak takes 80%. Who's going to be getting that their share of that 80%? People should have to ask things like that. Why are they now saying that instead of building the Banjul ports at the same time as Sanyang ports, that they want to build the Banjul ports and take a 6-year break, which means they want to take 6 years of mining the ilmenite and other minerals in Sanyang, which they will then sell to build the port. So technically, they're not using their money to build our port, they're using our money to build the port. Who on God's name will agree to something? Sometimes I look at it and think, they take my place after me building it for the past 24 years. That's why I said, you better come. I've got the complete forest, virtually all the local trees that you can think of are there.
In Sanyang.
In Sanyang.
But they actually came there the last time. I think they met the community of Sanyang. Were you not present?
I was actually, I think I was either in UK or in South Africa, because I decided I've had enough of this place, so I'll take a 7-month holiday. But the meeting was so shallow. And at one point, I actually got myself into trouble by saying that they came and they were talking to the villagers as if they were talking to village idiots. Unfortunately, a lot of people in Sanyang took that as an offense, that I was swearing at the people of Sanyang and calling them village idiots, rather than saying that the person that came and was holding the meeting was disrespecting them. They were being asked about the plans for the ports. Oh, we haven't had one yet. They should have had a consultation with the villagers 3 years ago, when the project was initially thought of. In fact, there was another project that was during Yahya Jammeh's time with some Middle Eastern country, which is now operating the port in Dakar. And they were supposed to be coming in. That was favorable to the Gambia. These guys are coming in, and it looks more like a no-susu for me, because the area that they had identified on the as being possibilities of the map takes the whole of Sanyang Beach. So the general population in Sanyang do not have access to the beach anymore once this thing is built. They are saying that they're going to build all of the port on top of the land, as opposed to what you normally find internationally of them building the jetties out and using as little land as possible. They're talking about taking 1,300 acres of land to build this port. That's bigger than Istanbul, that's bigger than Hamburg, that's bigger than Southampton. And the large part of that, about half of it, is where government is saying, well, this amount that the port has decided, we are going to add more to it because of the fact that we need it maybe in the next 10, 20, 50, 100 years' time for expansion. Now, for me, what would have made sense was that if they had built, extended the port in Banjul, they've got all that mud flats, because you know Banjul ports, a lot of it was actually reclaimed from the sea. They could have reclaimed the whole of those mud flats out that is being used as a dumping site for ships, all the way to Mandinari. Then they would have had the roads leading from outer ring road of the ports, where somebody's going to, let's say, Basse or whatever. They can just take the ring road and go straight to the thing. They don't have to go to anything. In Sanyang, you've got people that have built their houses, developed. A lot of people in this end seem to think that Sanyang is just forests and monkeys and generally.
If I understand, small understand, is first, you don't trust the company, that is Albarak.
No.
Linga Folk is Albarak, Lunbugadef is they want to use the site for mining. Now, they
not just Albarak, including government officials.
Including government officials. So you think Amwing Halis to build this port, but they're taking a lot of years so that they can do sand mining at the site. They will use the same money and build the port. Now the second thing is Yenafa Ame Island.
Yeah.
But instead of meeting you, the landowners, they meet the village. Some of the, but they did not meet you people.
No.
Right. And that is the problem.
Mostly,
How are you handling this problem?
Well, basically, the mineral that they were wanting to extract is ilmenite. Sanyang was one of those places that was used by the British back in the 1800s. That's why there was actually a train line that went from Sanyang all the way to Banjul. The minerals that were being mined by Gach and all these other companies in the last 20 years was the waste material that the British had left behind. Now, if they are going to be saying that they need 6 years or whatever to rest and recoup whatever little amount, like if you look at their figures, they say they're going to spend 130 million to do Banjul.
Yeah, the expansion.
That's it, with the computers and so on. But that they are able to spend 650 million to do Sanyang Beach. Why do they need 6 years break after spending only 125 million?
Yeah, that's a good question.
if they are liquid,
if they're liquid, they do not need that. When I was setting my company in here, but I don't know if you know Bakau by the post office, you used to see some boats in front. That's my company.
Okay.
Before I got hamstrung by government officials to the point that I just shut the company down and watched the boats rot. Rather than
they didn't allow you.
They try to make me work with some of these tour operators where the tour operator will get paid £25 and I get £5. And I turned around and told them, I got called into the NIA. I turned around and told them, what they would not disrespect me in Europe, I would not let them do it in my own country. I had when they came and said they wanted me to go to the NIA, this was during Jammeh's time, I said, wait for me to come in the morning and I'll bring my documents. I brought that red passport from 1970. to show when I left the country. I think there was maybe about 12,000 or so people that had a passport before me. I brought all my other documents, including a document where I sold my house in central London. If you know London, basically I had a house in Notting Hill, which was walking distance to where Prince Charles was living. I sold that house for basically £250,000, and I came here with cash. I bought all these boats and equipment and so on. They decided to block me. So I turned and I showed them all this stuff and said, do you think I'm going to work hard in Europe, bring my money to help develop my country, that I then give it to some outsiders? They get 20, I get 5?
Doesn't make sense.
But basically that's what is
what they're doing to people.
That's what is in existence right now. The thing about saying about the TDA and the tourism tax, that was only applicable to the TDA. Where the yellow taxis cannot operate in the TDA, but the green taxis can operate. The green taxis cannot operate outside. But now they're going to restaurant owners way away from the beach and saying you got to pay the GTB tax. So I mean, it's the thing with the ports matter is that if you tell me a lie once, I will say maybe you made a mistake. You tell me a lie twice, 3 times, 4 times, then I'm the fool. And basically, they think that they can treat us as a fool. That meeting that they had at the village, I suspected they might do something on the hand. So I sent a reporter to record it, because I think now, apart from Kerfato and a couple of other places, some people have been got to taste some of the dutir.
Yeah.
And their mouths are all stained with it. So they try to keep a little bit quiet.
Right.
Some of the press approached them and said, look, this doesn't make sense. Investigate and check what is going on. They don't.
So what was the meeting about? You recorded it?
Basically, that they were looking at doing reports and that they wanted to talk with the villagers and so on, and they did most of the talking. And of course, some people will turn around and say, well, it's fantastic. It's going to bring up reports to Sanyang and it's going to be of benefit. I remember that one of my uncles that was involved in the airport at Keneba, Kiang. That was it wasn't to grab their land, that was for a different purpose. They were fighting each other, so he got them to build the airport there. But these people are negotiating things that do not make sense. Like I said, just the initial amount that they're talking of spending in Banjul, and the amount, the much greater amount that they're saying of spending in Sanyang. Why are they not just coming out and say, well, we want to mine the ilmenite, in which case they don't need them. I believe there's a Nigerian company that's supposed to be coming to mine this ilmenite. Gambian said they can do it, but they are bringing in foreign companies. And that really stinks a little bit like what happened with Banja, of not wanting the locals there because they think locals might turn around and say no. I mean, you had, I think, something with Nawek where they demanded, asked for somebody to falsify an invoice.
Yes.
When I was running my company, somebody actually came from fisheries and said for me to double the invoice. I told him to get out of my shop. I don't want his business and I don't want to ever see him in my shop. Because there has to be times where people have to turn around and stand up for their morals. None of this holding prayers before the meeting, prayers at the end of the meeting, and in the middle of the meeting, you're busy telling lies. I mean, God is not sleeping, for God's sake. And I mean, when you turn around and tell people, when you go to Alahira, God will pay you back for what you're doing. Before you get to Alahira, some of them have actually end up suffering horrible lives in the Gambia. And the chicken change that they are getting.
So you're this group, did you have any meeting with Jobade and Nico?
No.
So they have not engaged you people?
The owners? No.
Yeah, the owners in any way?
No.
Now this Ijaman, the land is big. Okay, the hectares that you've mentioned here is big.
Yeah.
And you have a group, I understand.
Yeah.
And you are leading this group.
Yeah.
Now, what will be your step as far as they have not consulted you according to you?
Well, basically, it's to negotiate for proper compensation. Some of these places were bought to do developments. I think it's not, if you looked at my Facebook page, you saw the development I was talking about needing to do.
Yes.
And this was like 10 years ago that I posted it, so it cannot be that I'm in response to what they're doing. This I had actually come across with traveling in Southern Africa and so on. So you have a lot of people that have done this type of developments. You've got a lot of people that have invested in beach bars, etc. To make sure that they do compensate people and compensate people properly. The last or second to last meeting that Jobati had, he was saying, well, we can give them another piece of land. Which land?
Oh Lord.
I think
Yeah.
MRC, is it MRC? They have lands around that area.
Where?
MRC, is it MRC Holland Foundation?
In Sanyang?
Yes.
Well, I know MRC had a piece of land near to the beach, and there was a land that was owned by Sir Philip Bridges, who was the Chief Justice during colonial days up till 81. That was sold to Ibrahim Faraj, the owner of the village.
So the land is sold?
No, no, this is land that is owned by somebody that is in the area, but there is no land in Sanyang right now. And if they extend from there, the one piece of land that was, like for instance, between Sanyang and Tijering was one that I took the Jammeh government to court when they given it to a company called Sparan that was supposed to be building a 7-star hotel. And they needed land that was 1,500 meters long by 800 meters wide. That's the size of land from Senegambia to Palmarima. I dare you to guess how many rooms that hotel was going to have.
Yeah, a lot of rooms.
No, 22.
For that land?
Yes.
22 rooms.
22 rooms.
That's a scam.
Yes. And right now that land is being cut up and shared out amongst individuals, with the knowledge of the GTB. For me, the first thing that they should do with terrorism, none of this GTA, B, C, D, E, F, there's only one department that's needed to be dealing with terrorism. Get rid of the TDA. When Fatty Job that used to work at the tourism, will tell you, when we had meetings, when, you remember when they had the fun fair at Senegal?
Fat Mas Job?
No. Sorry, Binta Job. Okay. Yeah. And basically,
I know Binta.
That's it. So basically, I mean, we had meetings, and when these guys, the Libyans were building that place, we tried to make sure that they did it and did it safely for the general populace. They turned around and said, well, the APRC uses this place. If you do not stop bothering us, we will go and report you. So we turned around and said, go ahead. We are here to make sure that whatever is done properly, that the people do not get harmed. We were getting tourism ministries coming from Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Ghana, to learn how we were dealing with the tourism in the Gambia. We were way ahead of all of those countries, including even Senegal. The Senegalese, the first thing that they did, once they realized the potential in the 90s, 2000s, was to make sure that everybody that's working in a hotel learned English. None of this that you've got to speak French in the, they all learned English. And now when you get on a British, Brussels Airlines flight, more than 90% of the passengers disembark.
Now, Mr. Janneh, this is development, okay, according to the government.
Yes.
You've mentioned that they said they're going to compensate you lands.
Yes.
Now, why are you people complaining if the residents of Sanyang are saying that they are okay with the development and the government is going to compensate you?
Well, some of the villages in Sanyang were saying that they're going to be happy with it until they realize that the government is now talking about taking everything from the beach all the way to the road. That's why I said it would be important if you actually come on site. They're looking at taking everything to the road. Some of them were like the selfishness of saying, well, it's got to be, when Yaya Jammeh was demolishing some of the lands in Sanyang, they were going there, doing their own contributions to buy food and so on, and they were coming with drums. Developments come to Sanyang. Forgetting that the people that they were demolishing the properties from were helping them all those years. And it is that short-term memory of, well, this is what I want, I will do whatever it takes to get it. Some people are like that. Now, they do not have a right to negotiate something that belongs to me. They sold it to me, so they do not have any right there again. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not only dealing with our lot. Now the villages themselves realize that what they were being told, we managed to get our hands on a copy of master plan, but I don't think it's the complete thing. That they realized that the government was not telling them the full facts. And then Jobate made the mistake of saying, we're going to be taking to the road. Now that's meant that they've actually gone and taken lawyers for themselves. They were making the meetings with
the villagers.
The villagers. They were making the mistake of attending meetings with government, and government was turning up with lawyers. And that's why I said that when they turned up with the meeting at the school, I had sent a reporter to record the whole lot. Because one of the things that some of our officials are good at doing is to do something, say something, and then tomorrow they say, I never said it. So I made sure that it was all recorded. Subsequent meeting to that, they had sent people to go to people's houses and be writing numbers on there to show the extent of what they were looking at doing. And this was given to a Ghanaian company, who then subcontracted to a Gambian company. Again, why is everything going to foreign companies? Is it that they are likely to be told, well, I'm not going to do this to our people? So once the people realized the extent that they were looking at going, they've now decided to take Lamin Dabo as a lawyer, and they are now turning up at meetings with a lawyer of their own.
Now, your involvement in this issue is you have a land there, isn't it? What exactly do you want the government to do?
To be honest with the population. If it's going to be development, I'm all for it.
Is it about the compensation?
Yes. Basically, that's my retirement home, and it was supposed to be a major development. If I tell you that, let me give you an example.
How do you want it to happen?
Let me give you an example. My house, not the land, my house is 39.5 meters by 29.5 meters.
A big house.
That's the house. All the equipment, taps and so on are brought from Finland.
What is the size of your land?
My land is 250 by 200.
Oh, that's a big land.
I bought it back in 2000 because somebody ripped me off on land that was near to Burfoot. And I decided, okay, if I've got to go all the way to Casimas, I'll go. So I just kept on going till I found land And they showed me a piece of land and they sort of like said, okay, how much of it do you want? And when I realized what they were saying, I said, okay, I'll buy the lot. I could have bought more. But the thing with me then was that I needed something that I can then develop as I go. And as I, like around about this time, I've got the other floor done. That would then have accommodation for things like Airbnb. And then I will downscale to another plot that I have bought, which is smaller, build a smaller cottage on. The compensation, like I said, one must be fair. It must be fair. To just give me, say that, well, I'll give you another piece of land. If it was that, I own land in UK, I own land in Finland.
So what do you want? You want the money instead?
I want fairness. I know it's hard to quantify.
In terms of monetary terms and the way you deal and all.
The whole lot. Fairness is basically what is the thing. And not for me to be part of what is then going to be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, or people turning down and say, what is this mess in Sanyang? How did people allow it to happen without saying a thing? We've got to stop burying our heads in the ground. Like a ostrich, if it buries its head in the ground and its ass is sticking out, the lion's still going to chop him. So there is a point where we turn on and say, look, I think there's something wrong. Like I said, when I talked about the fish meal factories, the smell was bad, and they were bad. Government at one point brought the wastewater and decided to dump it at the Kotu ponds, and you know how it stinks there. The smell was so bad that they decided to send it back to Sanyang. Now, something that's not good enough for one set of the population in the Kotu area, you know, there are sort of these rich people that drive these brand new second-hand, third-hand cars and then lord it over everybody else. That they have to have this mentality that, well, if this was so bad that I couldn't stand for it to be at my front door, not to say take it back to Sanyang, or keep it at Sanyang, or keep it at Gunjur, or keep it at...
Well, that's where it's coming from.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's where it's
but
coming
they are the ones
from.
that have given them the license to do it.
So that's what I'm saying. I think the issue here is it's not to take it from one place, take it to another place.
Exactly.
Let's say those people don't know better.
Yeah.
Those people don't have the voice. They don't have the power.
Yeah.
They'll just continue to succumb and deal with the mess.
Yes.
Right? I'm sure the people around wherever it was taken, they had to make noise to say, no, it's not here, it's not from here, so you cannot bring it from somewhere and bring it. So they have no choice but to take it back to where it's coming from. I think the issue is, it's not shelving the problem, but solving it.
Yes.
And that's what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And not even take it anywhere else.
Point is,
Yeah.
all lands belong to the state.
No.
Well, that's what the law says.
No.
Okay. That is my understanding of the law. I come. Just let me finish the case.
Yeah, okay. No, but if I can help you,
let me finish the question.
Yeah.
All land belong to the state. Now they said they are coming to build a port.
Yes.
According to the government, this is a development.
Yeah.
They've engaged the community.
Yes.
And they've told you that they are going to compensate you with another land.
Yes.
Now you threaten legal action.
Yeah. Well, now we are negotiating, not threatening legal action.
Yes, that's what I've been following you.
Yeah.
Do you think you have any case in this?
Yes.
What is the case?
Okay, the State Lands Act, as you are referring to, actually says that the government or department can designate a piece of land state lands. But if somebody is resident or has ownership of the land, they are now automatically given a lease of 99 years. So it's not that government owns all the lands, they were designating lands as they went.
I understand your point, but you know what the law says is...
No, that is the law quoting you.
For example, at Kerfado here,
Yeah.
if government needs this place,
Yes.
you know, they can compensate us and take this place.
They can purchase it.
No.
It's called compulsory purchase. The land acquisition is compulsory purchase.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
if you entirely own the land, you can actually insist that government cannot take this land.
No, if I can explain, that is, you're making a mistake.
So now, but the point there is,
Yeah.
do you have any case in this?
Yes.
I want to understand what is the case.
Okay, the State Lands Act and the Lands Acquisition Act actually states that if the government needs something for the general good, that they can approach the owners, negotiate with the owners, and I said owners, and that is in the law. And then they will adequately compensate the owners of these properties. They have known that they wanted to do this 3 years back. They've been hiding. And do you not think that there is something a bit odd that all of them that were supposed to sign the contract on behalf of the Gambia government got onto a plane, flew all the way to Turkey to sign the contract and then fly back to the Gambia? Could it be that they didn't want people to hear what was being discussed? Could it be that somebody was promised a piece of land and then shown some land in Turkey that they can have?
When it was for Gambia,
yes.
Why wouldn't these people come to Gambia to sign it?
Because people might hear what is being discussed.
Be in attendance and everything.
That might be because they don't want people to hear what is being said. But like I said, this Land Acquisition Act is actually very, very clear. That if the state does say that something is now state lands, because the traditional ownership is concrete, is sacrosanct. If the government wants it, they then approach the villages and say, we need this piece of land for this purpose, for an estate or whatever. And they then have to compensate the villages. Not to take, like for instance, what happened, well, I don't know if it's totally complete or if they managed to get sorted, to take something to build the estate in Tujering by Social Security. And from what some people were telling me, they were given in compensation, from the same piece of land, they were given 20 by 20. And the land that was taken was a few hundred meters square. So there is a bit of an issue as where people are concerned of even looking at where the TDA is. Because most people have been fed the same thing of where the TDA is all the beach from Banjul to Katong, and then they decided that they're going to extend it to Koina. But there was a lease that was signed by the Gambia government to purchase to lease the land from the people that own the lands in the combos. So if, like you say, Gambia's government is, officials are saying you that all land is owned by the government, why does the government need to lease it from the villages?
Anyway, that's my understanding, and that's what the law says. For me, that's my understanding. But I still don't understand, how do you want this compensated to be done by the government? Okay. That's what I don't understand. Okay. What do you exactly want?
Right. So let's say, for instance, land is selling at $1,000, $2,000 is a square meter. $2,000 is a square meter. Plus whatever I've invested into the land.
Okay.
Plus whatever I've invested into the land. And that is what the law says. It has to be fair.
So negotiation have started. Did you put this to the government?
Our lawyer, it's being dealt with by our lawyers. It's being dealt with by our lawyers because I think it's one of those things that I will not go into negotiations by myself, even though I am able to talk for myself. I'm able to do the research.
Okay. You hired lawyers.
Yes.
Lawyers. All right. So MC, let me say reaction see about this port thing in Sanya.
Well, jërëjëf Buba, foog naa ne man topic bi bëggoon naa ñu gën koo discourse si more on local language because dafa important trop bu nga xam ne ñum affect mooy ñu si ëpp mooy waa Sanyang peut être community bi la peut this grand Bantaba daf dee dem fu nekk dem naa ba si kaw bi sax ñu bari suñu la gisee ne la approche di wax ne ñu doon seetaan grand Bantaba wax ni fa lii ak lii kon kaay di discussion si dafa important trop ñu xam ne tam si grâce bi tam ñu understand ko despite tam important tam kenn ku nekk foo gën a comfortable but dama gëm ne dialogue ak waxtaan dafa am solo si lu nekk boot si government bi ak ñu moom laan bi ñëpp discuss sa ñoom gisoon naa benn engagement bu amoon diggante council bi Gambia council ak community bi tam ñu ngi doon discourse di waxtaan ak ports seen management bi maa ngi ko doon seetaan si fanaa Kër Fatou yéen a ko defoon live xam nga am na fu ma gis gars yi doon discourse loolu waaw ba gis naa tam discussion amoon na xam nga développement suy ñëw ñëpp ko war a welcome kenn bañu loolu wante tam war lor tam ay nit soo leen war a lor sax war ngaa seet na nga mën a complicité gars yi ñoom te ba gis nañ dañ gis seen bopp si mbir bi because koo xam ne dafa yaaga am laan si ati yaaga soo ko war a jël si moom engrais ko nga dis ko sax moom peut-être bu nekk mbiri naxade waaw wax bu neex rek noo garaawu dañ leen defal lii ak lii xam nga
li mu explain is these people are engaging the villagers instead of the land
waaw xam nga villagers yi
it's a mixture
waaw ñoom xëy na dañu dem through di channel bu gaa yi dem mooy through di alkaalo wala chef bi ne waa dañ soxla bu ko ñoom ports management bi xamul ku nekk alkaalo yi ñoo xam ñen lañ jox kër yi so alkaalo yi ñoom ñoo war a oote ci ko xamé la jox leen la kër parce que kër boobu te port soxla nañ ko nguur soxla nañ ko ñu bina la nga ñëw ñeen dañ leen soxla pour ñëw tout di governor office bi ak council bi ñoom ñu toog ak borom kër yi kenn ku ne nga jox ko opportunity moom tam mu wax lan la foog ne soo ko génnee si këram lan la war a am ak nag kañ la ko war a am naka la ko war a amee xam nga mbiri suuf lu jar a bàyyi xel la xam nga nguur mun naa ñëw jaay doole jël bagage yi jaamun nga soo xoolee par exemple lu xewoon si jàmme taami jawara bu jàmme teg over nangu na laan bari suma tooma victime la woon te laan si yëpp nanguwaan binaan na ko si code bi laan yi ñu jëloon fa almost 22 years ñu ngi jël laanam yëpp nangu ko waaye tey dem na code ba léegi fi mu nekk laan yi ñëwaat na si moom bi ko nu mu yàgga da nga ko di mën a amaat soo moo tax mbiri kër mbiri suuf lu jar a bàyyi xel la soo koo jël ak mi soo nag da nga ko war a jaarale si yoon man góob ma ne lu nekk dafa war a jaar si code am na dialogue la waxtaan la because tam Mr Janneh moom tam bëggoon na dem Gunju oo Sanyang ñoom tam ñu am si port nga xam ne tam ñëpp dañ ko waxtaan si àdduna bi bëgg na développé bëgg na yokkute mun na am sax tey bagage yi wàcc foofu tam si moom sax bagage am dafa wàcc bala mu ne ba Banjul moom dafa génne rek jël Dakar waaw Dakar mu ñëw yooyu mun naa possible soo kon moom tam bëgg na développement du moom kenn rek lii dafa war a nekk lu nga xam ne ñoom ba tey di government bi day war a am engagement discours ak ñoom waxtaan ak ñoom mu nekk lu nga xam ne ay kayit yu óor la document si óor la kañ la war a start loolu kañ bu ko nekk da ko génne si këram tam nangu këram tam nga ne waa léegi toogal nga xaar nu léegi toogal nga xaar mu nga nekk ay ati yaaga
fan laay dëkk
waaw fan fa la mu dëkk sax ak njabootam so yooyu tey
Battle Harden highway bi këriñ demolish compensate nañ
déedéet som ne gars yi loolu si na ngam ko coow
I think there is a lot of
mu ngi issues yu bëri si nga amee la joxul ne seen amee ba tey sax ni nga struggle
because mos naa dégg ministre bi mu ngi wax benn time ne waaw ñu bari boo gisee compensate tuñ leen ñoom kenn nit moomut kër bi o ki moom kër bi dee na o and then the excuses were just so flimsy.
so xam nga yooyu dafa nekk lu nga xam ne government ne war di bàyyi xel mbiri suuf mun ngaa téye nekk si power si doole loi bi féeboo la nga def loolu ne boo tey ruling bu am si court si 100 years sax mun ngaa ñëwaat taxaw nga ne suma kër la so yow bu fa nekkee doo faale judgment ruling of the court whatever nga ne waa may président may government bi dañ ko jël by force mun nga jël by force nga sa def fa lu ne ila nga ew rek nga xappul ni Sénégal right now si xappul na Sénégal speaker of the assembly in Sénégal résident bi dañ ko jaay gouvernement Macky léegi dis current government nangu nañ ko gis nga léegi ku fa nekkoon ku ko jaay léegi moom mooy ñàkk so yow adda bi de looy def mooy dialogue waxtaan ak ñoom force nañ dem ñu engage si nekk nañ wax alkaali ne ko alkaali bi yow li suñu la waxoon ak ñooñu ñu xam ne ñoom kër yi gisuñu leen ndax nga gisuñu leen nga doon waxtaan ak ñoom ne li leen offre yi moo fi nekk léegi pare na léegi fi mu nekk nii waaw bala ñu jël seen kër yi am nañ place bu nga xam ne mu ngeen faa demaagum ñu négocier ak yéen seet naka la su nekkee da nga ko bëgg a jaay tam mu ngi fa si condition si da nga ko bëgg a jaay nga jaay leen ko gars yi nga jox leen xaalis ñoom ñu jaay leen seen si sa kër bi ñoom ñu uti feneen loolu mun naa nekk bon gis nga problème mun am mooy waxi bandi ay bu leen woori xam nga noo suñ pare yéen noo leen déggoo yéen moo di ngeen kontaan di ngeen des lii ak lii jamono boobu moo passé léegi jamono ay naka léegi di ngeen kontaan suñ pare lii xam nga pour yokkute la développement ñu bëgg a développement kenn bañ ko ba tam bu lor yi tam so nag ma gëm ne lu oncle du wax nii moom déggoo mu ne moom perewut pour dem koot lu mu pere mooy pour ñu dialogue pour ñu waxtaan kooku ibi na bunta so ñoom tam bi daga di alkaalo gouverneur bi buñ dégga moom kenn muy wax rek xëy na am na ñoo tam moom fu mu aaga mënu fa aaga am na ko xam ne mu ngi toog fu tam neexul ko peut dem dégg naa mënu yaa ngi doon di am foofu.
No, they have a group. They have a lot of people.
So not just our group. There's multiple groups.
waaw so groupe yaa ngi ñëw so si yàggee register mooy am. understand nga and register warut a mën a am si lii. because lu nga xam ne dafa isi développement. ñoom ñoo war a door di waxtaan di engage ñoom discussion di am door di am wala government di Gambie li seen problème mooy communication bu accurate seen problème la. ñoom taf taf mbiri deal mbiri yooyu moo war a am si réew mi.
Okay, MC. Thank you so much. Ablay?
Yes, very interesting discussions. Don't know whether I'm the one who is not following, but I've not had anything from NEA regarding this.
They haven't been, they say that they don't know anything about it.
The National Road Authority.
Basically, environment.
National Environment.
Environment Agency.
Because there's supposed to be an environmental impact.
You know, we have what we call environmental impact assessment. And by law in this country, before even physical planning gives you a permit, environment agencies should give you clearance. Through that clearance, physical planning can give, because you know, I attended a lecture by one lawyer Samate, NEA, he works in NEA, and the act is here. I can forward it. I believe you have it, maybe. Regarding how
land acquisition,
not the land acquisition, environmental impact assessment.
Yes.
Before all this talk, NEA should go see the entire place, see
owners.
whether there is in fact a shrine in the forest that is going to affect a community. Look at the environment impact assessment, but government must first apply to them. That, okay, we need this in Siam, we want to apply for you, the competent authority, to assess. Now, when they assess, part of the assessment is, in fact, they have what you call public hearing. They will have public hearing in Sanyang for people to voice out. This is our shrine. My grandfather was late to us here. If you want, you know, stuff like that. All these are there. The government is not following procedure. That's the problem with the government. They take force a lot. You see, when people say Bawa is not a dictator, I tell them yes, because your understanding of a dictator. But the person,
not only your understanding of a dictator, you have not been affected directly. Because fee, kun lalut dawa.
That's the truth. Because even if the person is not dictatorial, the system in the country is dictatorial. That's how it is. Because I have seen some of these things on Facebook and other places, but I've never seen any in this. I don't know how you can get a land of this magnitude, 1,300 acres or so, and we have not seen an environmental impact assessment.
That land is bigger than Banjo.
Yes. Anyway, must be involved to now look at it. They are the competent body according to the Act of 2009.
They're supposed to be. They're supposed to be the competent body.
The law said they are. So I don't want to say supposed. The law said they are.
The law said they are. So they should be seen to be. But in the event that they are not, you know, I will not call them the competent body. They're supposed to be the competent body. You're only competent when you perform the act, when you do what you're supposed to do. Because again, this is affaire bi moy lo bokk bu xaar ñu ola ci comme ni ko waxee lii nekkut loo xam ne lu nëbbu la. It's an open secret. yow xam nga li la war as a body. So su nekkee ne kenn génn na mu jéggi sarta ci loo xam ne affect na la. Lu tax nga war a toog fóol sa loxo ne binduñ ma leeta kenn invite ma kenn ooyu ma.
Honestly, I agree.
The right thing is to come out and say, hey,
we are here.
I know you are embarking on this. I heard you're embarking on this. It's not even rumors, right? But I'm reminding you, before you cough at the corner, there is another turn you're supposed to take to go. Don't take a shortcut.
And basically, you
talk, so you raise the alarm again.
Because I'm coming, the director of the GPA, going out and making pronouncements of what he's going to take. He doesn't have the power. The Land Acquisition Act is he only gives the power. Lands office language. So GPA momut land amut the power to go and do this negotiation.
That's right. Continue from where.
Yes. So this is the situation. I agree. You see, when he said fairness, it's not the monetary aspect I'm even considering. But you see, we have to be fair to our laws as well. There are systems in place. There are laws that before you get this, we get lands for what? Residential purposes, agricultural purposes, business purposes, and so on. NEA is involved in all this. To now see this that we are doing, how is it going to affect the environment in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30? What about the soil organisms? What about the other ecosystem? What happens to it? What happens to the environment? What would happen to the air quality when this happens? These are all assessments that are made. Why am I not hearing DPA talking about it? Why am I not hearing Gambia government talking about it?
No.
I usually see police part of it and other people. Police, what would they tell us about the environment?
No.
I don't understand, but I don't see any. I don't see any.
The police are important. Ask me how.
They're not important.
The police are important, but tell me how. I'll tell you. It's to brutalize people who resist.
Intimidate.
No, to brutalize people who are going to resist, who stand in their way.
In case these people say, yeah, I'm going to
That's what I'm saying.
Because what happens is that if government, the reason I was getting people motivated was that government has a procedure where once they come and give a valuation of a place, you have 21 days to raise an objection and 6 weeks to do something, or you have assumed to have accepted the situation. And now you are talking, like I said, a lot of villages that did not know any different. And they were being fed the same thing of all the land belongs to the government. Like, for instance, when I said about the TDA, you know that the TDA was, for instance, if you look at the football field in Senegambia, you know that's not in the TDA.
The football field.
Yeah.
It's not part of.
It's not in the TDA.
Tropical.
Yeah.
Tropics.
Yeah. It's not in the TDA because that was owned by a Frenchman when the lease was being done for the ports, for the tourism development area. If you go to Bigelow, that's not in the TDA. That was only 450 meters. If they took more than 450 meters from the beach, that would have encroached onto the center of Bigelow. And the law was that the TDA was leased as a fixed point. So what some of these officials now are saying is that, well, the sea has been encroaching. We have a lease of 800 meters. Because the sea is eating 400 meters of our TDA, we now have to move inland 400 meters. And that's what they're doing to people that are anywhere near the coast.
All right. I'll get back to you. And so you'll answer all the questions.
Yes. So I think if NEA has not released the environmental impact assessment to give the go-ahead, in the first place, that is an affront to our constitution and to our institutions. So it's not only an affront to the people of Sanyang and the owners, villagers. If that has been done, then what was the summary of the public hearing? Because that is part of what the act says. There has to be a public, not to cite the public hearing for people to now say this is that. Because you are coming to affect the environment for generations to come. So experts need to look at that. And I have not seen that. And that is why I tend to believe the government is actually using force. Because we've seen also cases where they took Frida's own thing and then time and again harassing her and stuff like that, even though there is a judgment against the government. If a similar thing is happening to the people of Sanyang, I would side with the victims because I know we have a bully, and that is the government. Yes. And so the people of Sanyang must know that. They also have right, in fact, to request for environmental impact assessment in the first place. If government don't do it, the people of Sanyang equally can request that, anyway, we want this to be done. And then let's have that impact assessment. That's what will determine whether, in fact, the port is fit for purpose as far as environmental concerns are concerned. So this I have not seen. I don't know. So it means the government is either deliberately doing it. They will not say they don't know.
I wouldn't say government. I would say GPA. Because the government institutions that should be handling the transfer of ownerships and so on are not involved.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I agree. Thank you.
No, go ahead. What is your reaction?
dama la bëgg a put on point booba here suma xarit ci xool bi lu mu wax nga jël ko def ko headline Bojang here lu mu wax nga ignore ko mel ni gis loo ko waaw doo de headline Bojang okay doo de headline Bojang
this week dama ko headline am na lu wax fi the president is not happy is a good headline the youths are happy but the president is not happy that's a good headline
wow then what happened to that who is the bully we have a bully the government is the bully I want to see that
exactly
but anyways I mean good submission Bojang comme li wax gis nga dëkk bi ay loi mu fi dëgg la am na loi yoo xam ne they are archaic from colonial time nit nañ pour reform ko mu match ak our current realities and the future generations that is to come right yooyu ñu fa waaye am na yoo xam ne boo ko seetee ba seetaat ko nekk na loi yoo xam ne luñ mun a continuer di use la parce que mu ngi protect the interests of the citizenry okay I disagree with you this thing biñ dee naxee te xam naa ne loolu lañ dem naxee ko gars yi saa ña ngi government moom bépp laan bu nekk si dëkk bi loolu noonu manipulation la because soo ñëwee ne government ne dama bëgg a place bii nii nga ne ko déedéet suma bos la ñu ne déedéet government mun na ko jël parce que bépp laan boo gis si dëkk bi government moo ko moom nga em foofu noonu man I feel na that's manipulation
so emee foofu yes
waaw exactly thank you and that's where
let me help Bob no you see the truth is this there was Gambia before government. There were lands before government.
Before government institution were
you understand?
Yes.
Who taught the first accountant? That was accounting before the first accountant.
That is right.
So how can you tell me the first accountant owns accounting?
Nah.
It doesn't add up.
At all.
But
there are procedures. Why the government
laws also?
No.
Yeah.
You see, these laws are made.
But the laws are made
national
for fairness.
Element.
Exactly.
Not for
yeah.
fairness.
You understand?
So,
for government to be there
that is
to arbitrate, to make sure what you get. Well, that is, so the government is kind of an overseer.
Equality.
You understand?
No, I will
but when the
agree
people
with
say government owns land, no. Government came as a second-class citizen. That was land. There were people here.
So we came and we made this law. So I will agree with Nene if you say government own these lands and you stop there. You should have explained to them that we can take this land for the purpose of development, but
following due process.
People-centered development.
Yes,
People-centered development.
Exactly, yes.
We've seen land being taken for individual use,
Yes.
Yeah.
for individual benefit. I will not call that development.
No.
That is self-development. That's not what we're talking about. And there is no law that go back self-development.
that's right.
There is not. So that's why I say I disagree. Constitution is the supreme law. And there are acts like the Land Act and all that. And there is no way in all those documents that says government mun na talk the whole nene film dekani ene makoko. You know what? The man you hide behind development man nangu ko ci mom. Nangu ko not ko jay ko dole. Then denc ko ba nga xamne nene dena njabootam dee nañ ma jël ko joxe ko keneen ma am ci loo xam ne man maa ko use looloo fi am. looloo fi am.
That's right.
And documents yi la laws yooyu li mu wax. dëgg la ñun juróom yi fi toog ñoo ëppa doole suñ yelleef moo war a gën a paramount au supersede benn nit parce que juróomi bakkan ñoo fi toog. understand nga moo tax ñuy laa wax ne. So waree bill hospital xam nañ ne du pour Buuba du pour Mr Janneh du pour MC du pour Bojang hospital suñ ko billee ñi ko use ñu bari la marché ñi ko use lu bari la yoon ñi ko use lu bari la school ñi ko use lu bari la those are things yoo xam ne joxe nañ an exception ne loolu soo ko buggee war nga ko mën a jël waaye doo ko jël ci forcé doo ko jël ci njuuj njaaj doo ko jël si fen doo ko jël si tapale danga am ka ko moom elloo ko te lu waa jox ko da nga war a diisoo ak kooku noonu nangutoo dafa war a am foofu noonu te waruloo koo jël moom mu torox waruloo koo jël moom mu dem lu wa dan fam ne woon soo koo jël fam ne woon danga ko faa bàyyi oo nga yokk ko dafa war a gis yokkute ci boppam loolu la loo bi wax waaye loo bi wax na dangaa nangu alali jàmbur mu torox tumaranke nga delloo ko gannaaw te fii ku fi am laan nga bil ko sa am na loo def ba egga foofu noonu waaye liñ fi gis mooy dañuy delloo nit ñi gannaaw.
One point Boom raised, which is very important. Someone mentioned this on this program, about the company that they are dealing with. It seems like there's a lot of time that they've created for themselves, and he's saying maybe they want to do mining around the area so that they're able to build
I was going to come to that.
Yeah.
I was going to come to that. Before I even divert to Lulu Nono, remind me, I will address that because it clicked my mind. We need to really also like delve in that.
Yes.
You understand? Why? Guess na so ane nit ñoo xamne dañ la note bëgguñ nga xam bëgguñ nga xàmmee bëgguñ nga bokka just pour ne ñu mun na use loolu sa kaw understand nga because soo demee foo xam ne amut courant amut ndox amut yoon yu baax nga ñëw ne leen jox leen ma fii nii yëpp parce que dafa am luñ fee def loo xam ne dëkk bi dañ koo njëriñoo ñooñu xamuñ lu bari understand nga du ne xëy na ay dof lañ ooware waaye xëy na seen xel màccut ci fànn boobu noonu ba pare ñooñu noonu yaa ngi leen ko xañ ay ati at amuñ ndox amuñ courant dunda baa ngi cher xam nga ñooñu seen xalaat yëpp mooy loolu lañ soxla survival loolu lañ soxla léegi nga noot leen mel ni nga aaye nit ndox aaye nit lekka nga bàyyi ko ba mu xiif ba dehydrate nga daw si ak booli maalo kooku du gis dara li mooy xet googu noonu ak maalo gi
du maalo de baara maano nekkul sadam dam koy lekk
waaw billaahi maalo googu boo oytuwul am na xiif goy xiif doo ko xooj doo ko raxas di nga jël rek yëy parce que that satisfaction boobu ne am na lu dugga sa gémmiñ parce que géej nga am lu fa dugga loolu rek xam nga xel mind bi ni mu dee wookee understand nga it's not the food you eat it's the mind that eats it's the mind that eats so loolu boo ko defee yow da ngaa fi ne kii sowe na ma kii defal na ma loo xam ne bu du toon moom damaa dee gomloo nañ la loo xam ne it's not reality because li ma ne it's not reality parce que ñoo la put si situation boobu noonu and that's what we find them doing to all these rural people so suñ ñëwee luñ la war danga koo nangu te du ne sa njëriñ la du ne sa jëm kanam la ak sa yokkute and loolu moo war a stop because villages si ñoo consultal nii soo demoon nga sensitise leen ñu xam what is the short term the middle term and the long term impacts benefits or destruction dinañ wecci seen doxalin
mu ngi wax ne sax ñu ngi
dinañ wecci seen doxalin
already
you understand now not to even overlabor the point bi kii wax processes and procedures we are so bad in that ñun su ñoo def liñ bëgg rek la ñooy gis duñ follow processes and procedure institution yi nii yëpp ñu ngi ko fa def boo gisee ñu nekk fa dafa am lu nekk fa dañ war a am njëriñ dafa am luy seen njëriñ waaye dañ leen dee bypass in most things dañ leen dee bypass su dee ne sa follow nañ process and procedure there is no transparency because man su ma ko xamut mun a maa wax ne def nañ ko and these are things yoo xam ne a click of a button war naa am fu maa click ma gis ne li ñoo def nii de due process follow nañ ko because boo demee NEA di nga gis ne follow nañ li ñu war a follow ñooñu joxe nañ clearance check nañ ko certify nañ ko kon safe na pour loolu mu nekk fa waaye loolu du am di nga ut ba soona doo ko gis di nga lett ba soona doo ko gis understand nga access to information ban information lañ joxangu boo leen bindee dina la jël 99 days because they have to consult to find out whether information bi suñ ko génnee is it going to be harmful? Is it going to bring us down? Is it going to work against us? Who is it going to bring down? Who is the information going to be against? Is the person close to the corridors of power? Is the person up in the table? Is the person an affiliate? Because everybody is trying to protect who is close to them before they release the information. Lolo dohalu deka. At the end of the day, the MC what development. Development has to be people-centered. Development means that you want to get sent bopa. You understand? Now, we want to build a port, right? How much problem? Dina transform sanya, so they dohal nañ ko ci yoon, so they tek nañ ko ci ay sarta. Waaye suñ port biñ am nii. Ak tim tollu. Ak jànkuwante, jafe-jafe yi ñooy jànkuwante. Balaa ngaa defar beneen, ba nga am mu baax. Balaa ngaa defar beneen, ba nga am muy serve a purpose. Balaa ngaa defar beneen, la nga am dugal ci xaalis bu bari nit ñi gis ci seen bopp. Why are we so good in starting? It's not working. It's not serving purpose. We jump to do another one. Yeah. We create and create and create and create haphazard, substandard, pick bottom low level, just in the name of quantity but not quality. And we need to really move away from that.
In the name of Markofedef.
In the name of Markofedef. Yeah. In the name of konte ñaata classroom la sampa. ñaata yoon la defar. Classroom bi xale yi sey jàng ban façon knowledge lañ am. Sampa classroom te amuloo teachers yu bari. Amuloo teachers yu qualified. Because fayuloo leen. yaa ngi téye seen allowances yi. ñu ngi joy ñu ngi strike. di sit down strike 1 week 2 weeks xale yaa ngi toog jànguñ. xale yooyu ñoo ñàkk suñ dañoo dem ba graduate in the name of graduating because of dem nañ 1 2 3 ba 6 dem nañ grade 7 ba grade 12 just because of years are passing by but really the quality that is supposed to be impacted in them has that been done so pour man build classroom amul njëriñ build a clinic a health center just buildings but then you're not supposed to provide services just in the name of maa ko def ñaata laa fi def quantity not quality.
Senegal ñu ngi build ports yu bari I don't know that the authorities are aware.
But then you know what? Demal system port being ame. Now how many containers are going to Senegal? Trucks bringing it.
Now the plan is they don't take fees in ports. It wouldn't work, you know.
Let me make this clear. I always tell people this, and when I say it, they will think I don't like Senegal. No, the single most lethal national security threat is Senegal to the Gambia.
Yeah.
Because we're surrounded. Well, not surrounded, but 3 sides
Actually
of Senegalese, yes.
And what they're doing, they're very strategic.
Yes.
Even this Senegal bridge, a time would come, what we should get from it, it will not, because they are working. Their politicians are very smart, and they love their country.
Exactly.
Now, if we
are patriotic, yes, they're not individualistic.
That is why we have to look at it carefully. How do we counter these things? Now, regarding, I would love that my good brother, for me, he's a very good brother to me, Mr. Jubate. Yes, you know, to invite the person. Yeah, let him clarify.
We have to invite him.
Let him clarify some more.
MC will facilitate.
Yeah, you will come.
I pray he comes.
He will come. He will come.
Well, usually for him is me do that.
That would be very nice.
And when he comes, usually he accepts.
So because explain, you know, and bring a lot of clarity, more in the lateral, evidences, documentation, put in because people have to be carried along. People have to be carried along. People have to be informed. People have to be sensitized. They give their blessing you support la ci. Parce que askan bi luñ la support rek dafa dem.
No.
Waaye askan bi boolewul ñu am resistance. Sa success dafa métti. Su dee ne di nga succeed at all. And loolu mooy problème bi dañ bëgg a nëbbu te ñii nëbbu xamaale wuñ. wax naa fi si benn show ne understand nga am na lu xewoon ma ne borom I'm not surprised ne loolu xew na parce que borom jàngut and then I was crucified but at the end of the day I was vindicated I was but now going back ports like I said ñu ngi am bii nii understand nga gis nañ ni ñoo jànkuwante foofu ñu ne ñu bëgg a build another one right let's go back and make sure we get this one right once we get it right dama wax ne container yi dem Sénégal yëpp dina stop because key business moom lu ko itteel mooy time turnover lii jël 10 days moo ko gën a lii jël 30 days or 60 days ok du mun a stop Sénégal waaye tamit dina mun a wàññi lu bari because suñ koom-koom mu ngi wàññeeku when it comes to foofu noonu then suñ nekkee at a stage boo xam ne war nañoo mun a maximize our gains there then nga diversify because decentralization dafa baax dëkk bu nekk da nga war a am lu bari benn ñaar ñetta pour nga ne nit ñi gis nañ seen boppa pour kenn du jógee ba naka koy na war a ñëw fii pour génnee bagage war a delluwaat it's costly moo tax bagage a ngi cher si dëkk bi parce que ku nekk loolu yëpp da nga ko war a delluwaat si sa goods si then consumer bi mooy sofa gis nga mag ñi dañuy wax ne gis nga xel lépp lu mu fekk ci nit mun naka alal lépp lu mu fekk ci nit mun na ko wécc ba mu des xel alal mun naa wécc nit def la nga bulu nga green nga lee parce que daf dee def nit mu rëy waaye sa xel war ko mun a wécc te xel lum nàcca xel moo ko war a jëlaat waaye man dama dee wonda with all the naka lañ dee waxee affaire bi credentials the degrees the titles waaye su borom defee nga ne déedéet kii kana ko jàngal.
Dr. Sise actually answered one of your questions, you raised last week.
No,
he apologized actually. He said it is the African Development Bank, not the World Bank.
Oh, he said he doesn't know why he was saying that.
Yes. And he apologized.
No, but that's the problem in this day and age.
But I told you the hardest degree to actually finish in any university is law. It's very difficult. Does anybody even gets a degree in that? Because you keep learning. You stay in the school forever.
But
You never graduate. And just about that, he said it's difficult to implement the diaspora voting also. Actually, Professor Jibril Fala and other people did research, comprehensive research, and gave all the data and ways this can be done at a very minimal cost for government for this voting to actually happen. But so all he's saying is not true.
Well, you don't need data, whatever. You need no data. After you have an embassy, you don't even need data.
No, but you know, doctor is complicated.
Is that aimed at ñi nga xam ne jàng nañ wala ñi nga xam ne jànguñ parce que léegi-léegi da nga gis nit wax dara nga xalaat ko nga seet ne ki moo waxal nga xalaat ne kii musut a àgga si Yundum airport sax yaara fan du egg si kaw plane wala musut a àgga Barra port Banjul post ba mun laa wax la ne nekkoon di North Bank wala la ne nekk si Sénégal so suñu demee si Gambia is more developed Gambia's got better health care system in the sub-region. The guy get new fee for training. They get no fee for training because our people are so sick. That we have the sickness for them to learn from.
Yes, they have people that can practicalize
because president they go misinform si angle boobu.
Yes.
Understand nga because moom nga wane ni yaa ngi ñëw fii di faju di train fii. Wala mo understand ne train boobu because amul ñu mën a faj gaay so dañu volunteer. So more than
please, you forgot about that.
The issue I had one you can sign agreement. And we'll never first time seeing good because most of our agreements, if it's agreements here, for sign it.
Yeah.
What's that in Senegal? So you have agreements here signing ko Gambia fee.
Yeah, no,
agreements am problem fi ñu ko signé. Waaye ndax dañ dee read properly pour protect our interests.
Ndax dañ nañ ko
war xam nga agreement by law waruloo ko sign without demut ci assembly bi. Député war a debate ñu xool agreement.
Mais ñaata agreement
now let's move on.
Dafa dem assembly.
So lu mo ko
Africa 50 bi dafa dem assembly.
ndax dem nañu
should be signed by
I be mistaken.
Yeah, but li nekk problème mooy soo demee pour sign agreement te dañu yokk lawyers.
agreement si
waaye li nga tegal si sa kanam doo xam lan ngaa sign. Moo tax ñu amoon that problem with the oil.
Yeah.
That company with the oil should have paid a lot of money in should have paid a lot of money in fines. They packed up their bags and
so
went.
all these agreements here dafa war a jaar due process bu nga xam ne leen toog debate ko wax seen xalaat ñoo ko signal mooy Gambia si du yow individuals.
Gambia ko example the summit bu passé woon noonu naka affaire bi tudda biñ demoon ba ñu yëngal réew mi bi Sonko ñëwee.
mooy di business forum bi yooyu.
Gambia
Sénégal whatever seen agreement si dañ prépayé tâche foog nañ ñi dañoo ñëw sign.
non it take them up to one ko su guddi pour di change.
waaw ñu ñëw ne dañ
Sénégalais
waaw just pour wan la rek.
ñoom ñu ngi protect seen bopp.
even galabi kañ la staff na ay 1 o'clock yooyu.
waaw
pour loolu Sonko
ñu ko depuis 7 o'clock
na start. Even the Prime Minister dafa am pour xaal affaire yi doora ba mu jeex mu doora ñibbi.
Waaw sorry Bob, let's divert a bit here.
So we
you know why the Filipinos are able to do that? Because in every area or trip, they will not take my friend businessman or no, they will take the expert in the area.
Yeah, they take an expert.
Just at a glance he knows.
Yes.
No, if you look
But
at
now if they are going to sign an agreement, you take Dusano.
No, it's my brother. Please. I don't know you. No, this guy is my brother.
I'm just saying, you know, come on, one and let's clarify this. Even our dean, whether Christian or so, there are criteria for an imam. So let's people stop saying, oh no, Gambian I'm not right. Wow, can we I'm right? There are guidelines and criteria. Let's follow that.
Okay. All right. You want to talk about the company. Yeah, the company that is.
I want to put on record. When Bojang was talking, my back ears were on, so I did not hear.
The madam getting 1 hour audio. He's very good at audio, you know.
So I mean that point that he mentioned about the
company.
Yeah, the Turkish, right?
Yeah, the
Turkish company.
Al-Baraka company.
I mean, records have shown thing Musa dem yep issues in there and fufunono.
Yes.
And all that. Because ñun ñep xam nañ best practice tells you mbolem koy dealal war nga def a background check. So they in business la lim la wax ne loolu laa defal ndax yow yaay ki njëkkee muy koo def. Su dee du yow yaay ki njëkkee, right? Because su nekkee yow yaay ki njëkkee, the risk is high. And loolu dañ ko war a factor. Su dee ne yow nekkuloo ki njëkkee ñam ko defal war ngaa dem nga seet ba mu ko defee ak ñoom understand nga fan la jaar ndax nekk na ñoo xam ne dañoo sàmm seen kaddu nekk nañ ñoo xam ne jub nañ nekk nañ ñoo xam ne am nañ yermande nekk nañ ñoo xam ne du alal lañ jiital loolu yëpp loo war a def la xam nga lu nga war a def loolu noonu parce que yow ñi la santa pour nga def nangutoo boobu ak ñooñu mooy Gambian si seen interest moom nga war a njëkk a jiital te loolu soo ko defutee rek which means ne naka lañ ko waxatee fail nga si that part so léegi records have shown ne ñii seen history anywhere else apart from the Gambia understand nga
No, even in the Gambia. Because when they came, part of their top management had an issue with our security at the Denton Bridge.
Oh, yes.
Well, so they have started. Because of
high places, so I can do whatever I want.
But ñi leen indi ak ñi ñoo dealal suñ leen waxee ne bu leen faale anybody else parce que ñun ñooy in the corridors of power ñoo yore doole bi seen gannaaw bandang so li ñoo def mooy from the onset dañoo arrogant dañoo disrespect every other people ordinary people because ñoom nekku nañ ñoo dee fàtte ne ñun ñoo gën a important ñun ñoo gën a important parce que mboolem li ñoo def ñun ñoo tax ñuy ko def te ñun suñ xaalis lañ koo defee waaye suñ leen gomlooyee yeneen ni ñoo behavior la ñoo behavior now going back records have showed understand nga seen track record so why are they the ones to do what they're doing at the end of the day ñun war nañoo expect ne mujjanteel gi du baax parce que fañ dem yëpp lañ fa def nekkut loo xam ne ñun war nañ cee gis ba tiil ne ñoom lañ war a diilal luñ waroon a seetaat la because I'm sure ne am na ñu bare that once that did the Senegal port fii lañ njëkkee fii lañ njëkkee waaye right now defuñ ko fi dem nañ def ko Sénégal léegi ñun mënuñoo use suñ bopp dañoo dem Sénégal di ko use it's working in Senegal I saw business people here that will load their containers like of produce to ship to the diaspora they ship it in container truck drive it to Senegal and then take it you know why it takes about 9-10 days less than 15 days pour mu egga especially perishable goods but in Gambia it takes more than 30 days and you know what happens when the things get spoiled right and it reaches there
the whole container is
it's
back.
disposed at their own expense imagine yow li nga yónni a container what let's say 50,000 pounds yahuna that's a loss and for them to dispose it they have to charge you about 12-15,000 pounds pour ñu sànni ko business boobu naka la moo demee
it will be difficult
how can that business thrive nañu waxante dëgg ñu bare ngee sampa inte seen xaalis ba pare mu ne kaput dee moo taxit mental illness réeloo ñun jàppuñ ko de parce que nit koo xam ne da nga liggéey ay ati at nga ñëw jël sa xaalis dugal ko pour loo xam ne dafa continuer nga tedda nga tekki mu jékki-jékki bés rek yëpp ne mental malaise
yëpp mu dem
dëgg la yàlla am na de yàlla am na waaye yéen ay métti na métti boo xam ne yaram bi tamit deret moo faa daw ak ndox am na li moo def ci yow bi nga xam ne dina la yëngal dina la yàqa ñu bari ñu ngi leen gis ñu ngi nekk di def loolu noonu lii moo ko te du kenn gis nga dëkk boo fa juddoo nga yaroo fa nga liggéey fa par force da nga fa war a tekki
Absolutely.
par force da nga fa war a tekki te naka ngaa tekkee mooy ñi nga xam ne lañ dénk koom-koom yi dëkk bi ñoo la war a dooleel ñoo la war a dimbale ñoo la war a mboot waaye fii ñu bari ñi fi tekki dañ génn ñëwaat indi fi te ñi dem liggéey indi sax ñu ngi sonna waaye nit ñaa ngi jógee ci biti ñëw fi tekki fe ba ñun dañuy toppa seen gannaaw di leen ñaan di yelluwaan seen gannaaw suñ buggee jëm dañ leen am pour indiwaale suñ buggee naka eega dañ am pour yóbbuwaale leen te suñ leen di yóbbuwaale ñoom dañ am lu ñoo jël si ñun wàññi ñu loolu moo fi nekk moo tax ba tey fi ñu bugg a eega dañ koy eega ma jeexalee pour wax ne ki nga baro MC nga dañ ko dee nax dañ ko dee lii liñ ko nax ak mu bari waaye dafa am luñ gëm te it's not real and they are up for a big surprise a big disappointment olof daf ne gis nga nax sa boppa paasewut ngay sàkkar ndeku te sexoo te loolu moo leen daal ñu ngee sàkkar ndeku fu nekk bëñ bi rafet na rafetut ñuul na ñuulut xama weex na waaye ñu ngee sàkkar ndeku foog ne dañ sex te sexuñ dara ay nax seen boppa la ñuy dem.
Thank you so much, Nene. So you've listened to them. If you have anything to answer, because time is jeex na tamit.
Yeah.
Mun nañ tàggoo ya.
man comme li ma bëggoon a lifin mooy ne soo seetee ministre bi ba mu gëstoo ne nit ñaa ngi jógee fii di dem pour Dakar. Because it is good for the Gambia.
loolu la wax.
It is good for the Gambia.
It's good for the Gambia that they're going to
I think
Dakar.
it was Sidi.
Minister of Trade.
I'm not sure. With trade.
Okay, Juve.
Yeah.
No, it was before Juve.
Yeah.
I think it was Sidi, now the finance minister. I
Oh,
think.
okay, he was trained before.
It was Sidi.
The problem they never wax ñun fii li ngay xaw mooy ne gars yi dañoo gis sa new trend rek ñu jóg daanu si ko am.
Marie Randoor bi.
Waaw.
Marie Randoor. Goes. ñu ne toppandoor rek.
Yeah, but comme bañ indi BVAC si la Gambian the transshipment day because BVAC yaa ngi amoon pour génne hard currency pour hard currency pour pay for the BVAC man si laa door di ship suma containers I had about 7 containers to come in dama ko jaarale Dakar I stayed at the Lagon for me staying in the hotel with my crew and the drivers and so on to bring the vehicles and the containers back. It cost me less than it would have taken me to get the containers out of Banjul ports. When I brought that, don't know if you know, the limousine that Serigne Mansour was using in Senegal, that came from here. I actually imported it. Mostly to, pour ma woon yaa jaame ne, li ñoo nekk ne di tiitaru si yëfi moto, am na fu moo em. So ma indi fi limousine boo xam ne du xëcc si suñu mbedda yi. Instead of reporter bi ne ma yow da nga stupid, lan nga indi façon moto bi mënu use suñu mbedda yi. Mu ne ma léegi mu def ne léegi indi na moto bu day nii it was in a 40-foot container benn moto mu ne ma indi moto bu day nii kenn mun a def beta so naa si ñoom tintin di ma toppa ne mun nañoo jaar yoon pour ma bàyyi leen ko wala ma jox leen ko ñu yóbbul ma ko State House balaa tintin di juddu man maa ngi defante Europe so am na ñenn ñaa ngi fa dañ teg ne ñi ñoo def
yaa fi njëkk a isi limousine.
waaw man maa fi ñëw waaw limousine bi
When you brought it at the time, there was no.
this Jammeh did not happen no
Okay, Jammeh sa amul woon.
maa wala the simple thing ba ma ko yóbbu ports pour ne dama ko def clearance gars yi dem some of the officials because gëmuñ ma ba ma leen ne kon benn moto dong moo nekk si biir container
bi waaw didn't understand that.
because the limousine they brought it from Texas so li ma def mooy ne ok ñoo le this was 2002 ñu ñëw si ports bi gars yi seet ubbi container bi gis ne benn moto la ñu téléphone seen boss ne benn moto la gëmut leen ñu yónni wàññi in the end there was a whole lot of them they were busy taking selfies at the thing waaye li gars yi mistake si ports bi mooy ne dañ ñoo jagal kayit bi pour moto bi dañ bindal Lincoln Town car so man maa ngi leen a jëmal explain ne it's a limousine oh it's a Lincoln Town car man ne leen léegi ñaata laa war a fay I paid less than
I've paid for the limousine.
I paid for less than I would have paid for a Pajero
Interesting.
because they know better so they were not ready to me I was ready to pay my fair share of the tax but my small company ma ubbi yëpp I never asked for a duty waiver I could have. I never asked for a duty waiver because it was my responsibility to pay tax. Waaye soo seetee yu bëri ngi fi seen poos seen mbokk yi yeneen sax di nga gis mbokk di xeex mbokk because lan daf koy añaane li mu amee te loolu doo mus di yóbbu dëkk kanam bi ba nit ñi di muuf saañang di fa sampa ñëpp dañ mel ne da nga dof lan ngaa wuti bi foofu ba time boobu courant amut ndox amut yoon bi amu fa kenn si ñoom bëggut fa woon ñoom ñu ngi biir zone fii ni di njiiroo kër sëriñ ak yooyu waaw man bi dama dem di jënd suma place door sampa dama ko bañ bi pour am build li ma bëgga even the concrete mixer yaa ngi gis concrete mixer yi nekk si gannaaw toog si yaay day use ni dama indi benn specifically pour ba build suma place because I wanted to build it to standard ki nekkoon fanam ngi Gamworks wala mu ngi nekkoon Gamworks ba mu ñëwee si suma place bi dafa ne since he finished university it's the first building that is being done to as it's supposed to be di si nekk mooy ne suñu nit ñi pour jóg ne dañoo def dara instead of ñu jaar comme ni nga jaar si yoon dañoo ne loo bi lii la wax waaye duñ ne loo baa ngi ni seetal sa boppam because xam ne ñoom li ñoo wax mooy ne yaa ngi assume ne li ñoo wax dëgg la comme ni ma la di state lands Banjul li tax Banjul nekkoon freehold ak some places mooy woon ne tubaab yi dañ ko jënda bañ njëkkee ñëw moo tax mu amoon di different rules and regulations soo ñëwee combos that had the different regulations ba gars yi introduced the State Lands Act I think 91 or so dañ ko fa bind categorically ne soo su state buggee place they can ask for it negotiate with it pay the people compensation and then it is that's it if it is a general empty land they can then negotiate with the villagers and get it sorted. So this Gambia government negotiated at the time for the TDA. In fact, so large you the land the TDA to do at first. They cannot tell you. Because in the 60s, 70s, Gambians then began to lack of French and Spanish liberty. The Gambia tourism development area was called the Gambia Riviera Pegs, as in the French Riviera. So the people at the maps office cannot tell you where the TDA pegs are. The guy dafa mën a dañ samp pegs at every 1 kilometer fi nga xam ne dafa ñëw duga wala nit ko occupy woon wala nit fa doon def farming so mistake with suma uncle mooy woon the minister at the time was that anywhere that people were farming was not included in the TDA.
Summarize because time bi jeex na.
waaye li si nekk rek mooy ne pour lu mun di xew lu government di mun di def da am pour xalaat nit ñi fa nekk dañu am pour xalaat seen développement ak seen coono yi ñu daj comme ni ma man ba ma génn fii 1970 ma am suma coono yi ma daj foofu yëpp soo xalaatee 70s in England was not easy for a black person it was not easy balaa ma faa suma paa bi di bàyyi foofu I was a manager, retail manager in Halfords. It's one of the biggest car companies, car spare part companies. I was going to, for that, some of these places, did not buy. Some of these races areas. Madam Def small again. Don't much channel yet. Many Yajame Danas will be a care because the OIC conference. The Bugona de Sanyan. And he was going to run a road direct from Sanyan Beach all the way to the airport. I'm not the global.
No.
Right. Yajame, Limjel yet, the make sure that he passes money to it. Don't you extend this thing about the TDA, then go extend to the area it doesn't go. Not again, then extend the TDA, then extend the TDA all the way to Koina. How can you extend the lease? But how many lease from one group, not them policy can this thing of saying, well, the villages is then am lubere, land in yam, then send mammy come on, let us new work come. Yana sing you then you are halad, Neswaka mammy, moment care fee, moment land fee, moment farm land fee. I'm the young class, I'm the solution mammy mom. So like another new water by mammy thing mom, then can kill him the pope. Then get affair with each other. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I thank you.
If you land issue, Buba, this is so holy. When you go to the courts, Buba,
it's full of it.
The most issues you have, the courts in if you land. The make a problem, it's a time bomb waiting to explode.
Yes.
You know what? The land reform, land commission. Don't you dig? Then you to direct the buy.
Yeah.
Court board them, the biggest need connect at the top of if you land. 10 years. 10 years.
The next war, God forbid. But the next war,
it's
land.
The problem. So now when you have problem in land, they hit you. Understand that?
Government
then lo problem is dinañ lo easy la dinga am a referee ko ñew pour arbitrate. Why ñi wara arbitrate ñom ñoy the biggest dealers. Like in my brother's voice, it's not a leadership, it's a dealership.
Absolutely.
So it's a problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Dila jajafal pour nga bay sa yité pour ñew ci programme bi fi. Thank you so much for coming. Nga tendu ka jay baake nga na sponsor tendu ker fayndale ñim programme fasa ka sembentiendi alta cordal sanje ye cordal so do la belto Gambia banko kan jambari ka cordalo fanankale ne technicien olu milbe machine to wolem Charles Elvis Ngamti Mustafa Kamara Mami Ngom aning Lamin Diallo aning sire drame itole muta masingol to aning camera to nge tinto keje bake mbe mura nalen ni ala kiti dala wobe kala arjuma nalalti bye bye.
CareFinder is a real estate company that focuses on property development within the Gambia. We pride ourselves with providing not just quality and durable houses, but also state-of-the-art designs tailored to our clients' tastes and expectations. Our unique experience and expertise is second to none in the industry. We are currently building and selling 3-bedroom bungalows at Sukuta Traffic Lights and Jabang. We're also building and selling 3-bedroom story buildings at Sukuta Paradise. Other sites are also in the pipeline. With CareFinder, payment options are available. With just 40% deposit, you can get your house started. For more information, contact us on 329-5188, 727-0049, 709-8418. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CareFinder. With CareFinder, you are assured of a secure investment.